is going on, everyone? It is episode 162. Yes, you heard that right. 162. We'll talk about it later. Recorded on Sunday, April 16th, 2023. I'm Drew. And hey, John, what do you call a deaf gynecologist?
No idea.
A lip reader.
It's Monday night, which means it's time for another episode of the Dads After Dark show with your hosts, Drew and John.
What's up, John? On tonight's episode, we have Tears of the Kingdom. The hype train is here. We have TV talk. It's been a while. We did a recap on some old shows and some new shows. And lastly, we have a bunch of listener questions and a voicemail from the Two's man himself that we'll answer. John, I miss you. I feel like it's been a roller coaster the last, I don't know, what's the last time we actually had a real episode? 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, and I got to watch you do a frat boy weekend for the whole week with work.
I'll talk all about that.
Which was nuts, by the way.
Oh
nuts.
My God.
I have so much to say about that as well.
I need some comments from the outside, but yeah, like, you know, I apologize because I really wanted to be on last episode. We were going to talk about the Mario movie, but I'm going to be blunt. Here's what happened was last week I had a super important business trip to Orlando, a super big presentation, and my daughter had strep throat like 3 or 4 days before I was supposed to leave, and I started getting like all nervous. I went and got a strep test myself, and my voice was getting a little raspy, and I just said, podcasting for 2 hours the night before I'm going to leave just wasn't going to be the best thing for my body. Right. So I unfortunately had to sit it out and just try to rest. But I'm glad I did in a way because I felt great, and the work trip went absolutely fabulous. Make a super short out of it. Was what's going on was we had I had a huge presentation. So General Dynamics, if you didn't know, General Dynamics is a very large company, owns about 8 sister companies underneath it. Electric Boat being one of them. That's where I work. Some of the other ones.
Wait. Your company is called Electric Boat?
Electric Boat. We build submarines.
It's so literal. Wow.
Straight to the point, right?
Are they electric?
Well, they're nuclear.
So,
anyways,
okay. So the name of the company is a lie.
There's 7 other business units, right? Some focus on airplanes, tank, all sorts of a lot of military stuff, but non-military stuff. So every year there's this symposium for General Dynamics, the big company, where one presentation from each business unit gets up and presents to all like the big executives at General Dynamics. And me specifically, my project that I've been working over the last couple of years got selected. So, yeah, that's why I went and I presented it, and it went well. But John, I also had a lot of fun on this trip as well.
Yeah. Now, here's the question. I think you've done. I know at least one other work trip that you've done, and Drew will send me pictures of the work trip, and it's like golf, more golf, drinking, and it is like a frat party at Electric Boat. It's the weirdest thing, and you were saying, you guys, he ended up at a dance club. I'm not even sure if you're going to get into it, so I will get into it. At some point on one night, Drew ends up at a dance club. He sends a picture of what looks like a Yoshi egg that's on his arm, and he is suggesting that he doesn't even know where it came from, like as if he has this surprise tattoo. And I'm like, oh, did you get is that a tattoo? And he's like, I don't know. And it's clearly a stamp. And it was hilarious. You were like 12 beers in on a work trip. And I'm like,
yeah.
I have never done that on a work trip. Like,
Listen,
no way.
as I talked about, we've been practicing and working so hard on this that, and I'm with my employees here, but don't, and I don't want to get too deep into the weeds of the work stuff, but this was a celebration, right? So, we flew in Monday night. Tuesday, we laid low. I didn't even, we had a nice lunch and we kind of didn't go out. I was in bed by like 8:30, 9 o'clock. Because Wednesday was the big presentation. So
right.
After that was done, like, we were so like happy, proud, like excited. Yeah, we went out and celebrated, So we went out Wednesday night. Our company actually rented out an entire floor of Topgolf, and it was open bar, all you could eat food, and it was awesome. So we had open Topgolf for like 3 hours. That was done around 8:30, and like there was a bus to go back to the hotel, and we're like, whoa, it's 8:30, and we're not going back to the hotel.
Did did any of your team go back to the hotel, or your whole team was like,
I think
Had to be a guy.
five of us continued on.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, there was 4 guys and a girl. And
wait. There was a girl on your team?
Yeah, there's a girl.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the picture that I saw.
Well, I don't know which picture I sent you. I don't remember.
The sausage factory picture.
Yeah, Jesus.
A diverse group of white men, some bald, some with beards.
Listen,
some with shorts.
One of those was my VP, so be careful. Anyways, we went to Universal Studios City Walk and we did an escape room. So you call it frat party. I call it team bonding exercises.
Yeah, but it was a drunken escape room.
It was. We did a couple shots before it. So I can't get into it. The poor guy, all I'm going to say is one guy doesn't drink and he was not happy with us because the rest of us were. And we did the Jurassic World one. This is a different type of escape room. It was a little unique. Typical escape rooms, the whole idea is to escape. This one was 8 mini rooms. And the idea of the Jurassic World is these dinosaurs are coming to attack you. You're trying to escape this facility and like the raptors are kind of like sneaking up on you in every room you move on. You automatically move on from room to room. Like after 5 to 6 minutes, the door opens and you go to the next room and you get graded on how much you completed in that room. So you see all 8 rooms, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But at the end, it doesn't feel like you like solved a lot. So we escaped 1 out of the 8 rooms. And
when you say escape, you mean you did all the puzzles?
Like the door opened, it turned green before the time.
Oh,
like,
I see. Okay.
If not, like it goes like an alert goes off and it's like flashing red lights and then the door just opens automatically.
Right.
So we did 1 out of 8. We did a total score of 9 out of 20. But John, let me tell you, Cooper, shout out to Cooper who was just working there. So Cooper was the guy, like the room behind you, like sweeping your mess up and like putting all the stuff back where it belongs. So he could like hear us because he's just 1 room behind us. Yeah. And he said, I've seen a lot of escape rooms, a lot of parties, but you guys by far sounded like you had the most fun of anybody I've ever heard.
Except for the one guy in your team that was pissed off at you. I want to say I can totally relate to that guy. I mean, I'll drink, but I never really get drink. I don't even get buzzed or whatever. If I have 1 drink, Michelle will look at me weird because she doesn't drink at all. And I could totally relate to whoever it was that was like probably in there ready to do an escape room. And they're like, yeah, we're going to do this, guys. And you guys are like, Wah!
Well, yeah. And then there was 1 room, like room 5, we just got like the drunk giggles and we all were just like, we couldn't talk. There was another room. There was like, it was just like, there was like vents, like blowing AC in there. And the poor guy thought for sure that the vents were like poison was going to come in and we had to close all the vents. So he's like closing all. I'm like, oh my God, it's hot as balls in here. Like I think it was just the AC vents.
Is that like one of those that's just the AC? But
I think it was just the AC, but
they thought it was part of the, because when you do the escape rooms, it's always
you don't know.
It's always a guesstimate of what is the escape room. I mean, it has to be so freaking annoying to be an escape room manager because they tell you don't mess with the outlets. No, they say don't mess with the outlets. Don't mess with the light. Like there will be nothing. They are lights and they are outlets. I guarantee you every day there's somebody who's like, maybe it's an outlet. air conditioning unit. It's Orlando.
Yeah,
It's friggin' hot as balls.
It was a great time. And then, like you said, really toward the next night, we went out to a piano bar, a dueling piano bar, which was a great time. And then after that, we ended up at the dance club. But by the time we got to the dance club, there's only 3 people left.
And you were one of them with a Yoshi egg.
It was my plan.
Did you say you were at Disney?
Well, those places were on Disney property. Yes.
Like downtown, like a downtown Disney thing?
It's actually at the Disney Boardwalk, which is a hotel, but it has some nightlife attached to it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Well, it looks like you had a lot of fun. Yeah.
It was a great balance of work, work and fun.
How many of these pictures did you send your wife, who is having the busiest week of her life and watching both kids at the same time?
I tried not to send her really any too much.
No. What did you send? You didn't send her the dance club video?
Not at 1 a.m. I did not send her the 1 a.m. dance club video. I don't think I really sent her too much. We did fly on a private jet, which was really cool. I sent her a couple of those photos. I mean, that was fun. But,
you should get a private jet for the work that you have done. You should get a private jet. You shouldn't have to drive to work. You should have a plane land in your driveway, which is big enough, and then take off.
Enough about
Very
me,
nice.
John. What about
Very
you?
nice. I don't have much going on this week, I don't think, but Cedric and Sebastian are both leaving on trips this week.
Wow.
Like airline trips. What is
Where are they going?
So today's the 16th.
I don't get your kids. Like, no lie, every other podcast, your kids are gone.
They are on a lot of trips. Their school is called like Jefferson County Open School, and it is very much a hands-on school. So they do a lot of trips, camping trips. Usually they drive out somewhere west and then go camping in Colorado. Sebastian, at 3 a.m, my wife has to wake up and drive him to the airport,
Tomorrow?
which is about 40 minutes away. Yes, like in 9 hours. Now, before you say anything, I offered to go with my wife because there's no way she's going to let me take him, right? She handles all the school stuff. And I said, let me just go with you. I said, the other 2 kids are sleeping. They're fine. They're going to be fine. They're old enough or whatever. But so she's going to take him to the airport and then come back. I mean, she's going to be super tired. So she's going to sleep tonight at 8:00. So I have like 3 hours of game time tonight.
Ooh.
And he's going to Washington, D.C.
Wow.
He has a ticket to the White House. He's going to the Capitol. Like, they're doing all the school stuff. It's going to be
Exams
awesome.
and all that fun stuff. Yeah.
He comes back Friday night. So he's going to be gone all week. Fantastic. Cedric leaves on Tuesday.
Wait, wasn't it his birthday today too?
No, that was like 5 or so days ago. Yeah, he just turned 14.
Days are a blur. No, Sebastian's.
Yeah, Sebastian just turned 14
Okay.
On the 11th. Yeah. Then Tuesday, Cedric takes a flight to Pittsburgh.
Oh, there's nothing good in Pittsburgh.
I know.
I'm telling you, right? I've been to a lot of places. There's nothing there.
I know. It's not more of like a sightseeing thing. It's more of a school thing. So they've got some stuff they're going to do. And I think one of the teachers that's heading it up, they have like a family member that owns a cabin and whatever.
Seems fishy, but
he's doing. I know. I feel kind of weird because
seems weird.
One kid's going to DC and the other kid's going to Pittsburgh, but that's what happens. Kids, I don't know how much kids really care.
You should have just went with them and like kind of stopped in the middle and came and visit me.
I could. We've had so many situations where we nearly met.
I know.
It's kind of nutty.
We didn't hug.
So, we're good. We're gonna do the hug thing.
Yeah. Like those little baby, like 2-year-old gifts just running at each other.
It's exactly how it's gonna happen.
You gonna grab my ass a little bit? I'll grab yours.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No, but
We'll see.
I'll bring the Manscaped, like the wipes, and I'll just wipe your foot down or something like that.
A little spray. I'm not really a foot guy, but go ahead.
You know, whatever. I was saying when you're with me, it might change. But Cedric's going to be gone for a full 7 days
in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So what is that? That's basically like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There will be only us and the daughter.
You and the
so
girl.
We're going to go see the Mario movie again on, I think, Wednesday or
I might
Thursday.
go again.
Yeah. We're just going to go just to relax and do something. It's not long. Get some popcorn. Last time we did it with a whole bunch of kids, and it felt more about managing, all these people. And we're just gonna go and get some popcorn and relax, and that's it, and watch it again. So, and I'm hoping that I can see it one Bowser and one Mario on the screen, because I still had a bit of that double vision going on.
Oh, that's a
when I
good
watched
point.
it.
Don't go
Yeah, so I
3D.
haven't seen it in its full glory, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm excited.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Did you see the SNL FunkyCon skit?
I just saw that on the
My
doc.
wife was watching it last night. I was playing Wildfrost, and I just popped up and I was like, whoa, that was great.
I have not seen all of SNL last night, but I've seen 2 sketches, and one of them was the SNL Funky Kong.
That was awesome.
I mean, so Kenan Thompson is, I still think, the best SNL cast member of all time. And
I like him.
I do not know. There has been a lot of Nintendo sketches on SNL, right?
The
one with Pedro Pascal and Mario Kart was great.
Yep. Another Ted Lasso reference too, by the way. Animal Crossing the other day.
Oh, that's right. There was, yes.
Yep. A lot of Nintendo. Do you think that they need permission for a reference?
No, it's parody. That's just parody. I think there were a few SNL cast members. Do you remember the Animal Crossing sketch they did? It was with Melissa.
I do remember this one.
Mikey Day.
Yeah.
They had one. It was hilarious because they were just dogging all over Melissa in Animal Crossing. It was fantastic. That one might have been helped along by Nintendo, honestly.
Speaking of Kenan Thompson, so you know what it was? We were watching it today during the day. Our kids were playing video games, so they weren't paying attention. But so they were catching on. They noticed that we were watching it, even though they shouldn't be watching. Right, Saturday Night Live. There's some certain things that they thought about masturbation.
It is very much a blue sketch show nowadays.
So
yeah,
my daughter says oh, I liked that show that you and mommy were watching. So oh my god. So we actually put on all that for them because it's essentially SNL, right? For
what
kids.
Is all that?
Stop.
Oh,
all that. It's Kenan Thompson, Kel, Amanda Bynes. It's a bunch of. It's Saturday Night Live for kids back in the '90s on Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay. You're not a '90s show. No, I never watched that. Although I do know that Kenan and Kel did a bunch of stuff back then.
So, anyways, it's the same thing. It's the kids' version of Saturday Night Live. I wasn't sure if they were going to like it because it was '90s jokes, but they loved it. They watched 4 episodes tonight.
That's pretty awesome. I need to go. Where is that? Is that on
Paramount Plus? I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Paramount Plus.
Okay.
They have all the Nickelodeon stuff.
I don't have that yet. Yeah, that would be great. Did you see that there's going to be a Good Burger 2 that got announced?
I saw Good Burger 1 in the theater. I had early access tickets. We went on a Tuesday when it came out on a Friday type thing. One of those. You used to do the pre-showings all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You had tickets or you knew somebody.
I saw it for the first time not even a year ago. I swear to God.
Stop.
I think there was a window of time. When did that come out? I think
that was probably in the 90s.
I think when it came out, I was away to college, and there's just a lot of stuff I missed.
Same reason you don't know what all that is.
Well, I went to go exactly. So I went to go watch it about a year ago because I love Kenan and I just wanted to see it.
And
I actually enjoyed it. It's actually a really good movie. I'm not sure if it's super kid friendly or not. I don't know.
It's in the middle.
Yeah, it's kind of in the middle. But it's really good, and so I'm looking forward to the second one. And it's I like this world where Kenan has sort of propelled into stardom. He's got his own shows and all that, and Kel is kind of a footnote in history. It's
still
good
a
to
millionaire,
see
probably though.
Could be. He did a great job in Good Burger, though. I mean, he was really the star of Good Burger.
Oh yeah. Oh, he absolutely is the main character. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was great.
All right.
Watch the SNL Funky Kong.
Yes.
Kenan.
Really quick. Did you see I actually saw it when I was in Disney Springs that day, and I forget Solo or somebody, not Solo, somebody posted it on the Discord of the Bowser Lego playing the piano.
Oh yeah, I saw the picture, right?
Yeah, I saw that when I was there, but I forgot to snap a photo of it.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that was fun. That was another good one.
Yeah, that's perfect. All right. Let's talk about one of our sponsors, Kanzuri. Fellas, have you ever wished you were a little bit taller? Maybe you you put your cursor in front of the words. I couldn't read it. Maybe you matched on Tinder, but her profile says must be over 6 feet. I'm not. Maybe your date wants to wear heels, but she can't because it will make her taller than you. Well, I got the Shore Kings covered with today's sponsor, Kanzuri. Kanzuri makes shoes that make you up to 2.8 inches taller without anyone knowing. Look, girls get heels, makeup, and push-up bras. Why can't men get a boost in confidence too? We're all the same height lying down anyway, if you know what I mean. I'm much taller. For a limited time only, our listeners get an extra 15% off your order with the code NINDADS at kanzuri.com. The site is already 30% off, and with our code, you get an extra 15% off. 30 plus 15, that's 45% off of your entire order. Support our show and check them out at kanzuri.com. That's CONZ, as in zoo, URI.com, and use the code NINDADS.
Thanks, John. But let's talk about our other sponsor we have for a minute, Manscaped. Because, gentlemen, if you didn't know, it's tat season in the U.S., and you know what that means.
Amy knows.
Amy knows, I know, we all know in the Diffuse Store household. It means that Manscaped is here to make sure your paperwork is done and your boys downstairs are having fun. Make sure you spend your tax return money on the important things this year, like family, friends, and ball deodorant. Join the 8 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the codes NINDADS, NINDADS, NINDADS. Manscaped lately, John?
Drew, I have a joke. Not a joke. I finished my shampoo and conditioner, my Manscaped shampoo and conditioner, and we've all talked about it. Like,
yeah.
I like it. I love the bottle. I love the colors on it, whatever. So I'm like, oh, I finally ran out of shampoo and conditioner. I don't have much hair. It's all buzzed. So let me go get some more. I go under my counter, and there's like 4 bottles. And I grab the first one, and it's like body wash. I put it down, and I grab the second one, body wash, put it down. Third one, body wash. What the fuck? Last one, body wash. I don't have any shampoo and conditioner, but I have 4 bottles of body wash. I feel like I got sent the wrong thing by our sponsors.
No, I have all the body wash as well.
Do you? Okay.
The shampoo is only like 1 or 2 bottles at most.
Okay, I'm gonna have to order some shampoo and conditioner.
We gotta just reach out to Justin. We gotta tell Justin we need more shampoo. And that's simple as that.
You get 20% off if you order shampoo and conditioner. I feel like we should like live up to that.
How much is the bottle of shampoo? Do you know?
I don't know. I have to check. I'll check, but I don't think I need body wash for the rest of my life.
I mean, even if the shampoo's 10 or 12 bucks, I know it's a little bit more. You get the free shipping. I mean, it lasts forever. That's literally you can go through. It lasts months.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
Especially with you only need like a half a squirt.
I mean. That's what your mom got last night.
We get it all, I see.
Let's take a look. Let's just do some live shopping here. The 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, $12.99. That is not bad.
See, I can price things out. What did I say, 10, 12?
And it says 15% off. If I get a 2-pack, I mean, I might as well get a 2-pack, right?
Well, plus 20% off, plus free shipping.
Yeah. So let me do.
How much is a 2-pack? They give you a deal? $25?
Oh, the 1-pack is $11.99. The 2-pack is $21. Okay, so wait. Oh, okay. When I clicked on it, okay. So $21.99 for a 2-pack. You save 15% on the 2-pack. Save 8%, $11.99 on a 1-pack.
Plus 20% off.
Yeah, let's order it. So I'm going to do it right now.
Live ordering right now?
I'm doing it right now. That's it. I'm going to do a quantity of 1. A little confusing, but.
Quantity 1 to get 2.
Yeah, to get 2. And then they have a little add-on, 2-in-1 shampoo conditioner, save 8%. That's a little weird. I'm not going to lie. There's a little bit. I'm getting a little confused here. I save $4. I'm going to check out. Shipping is free. Where do you put the code? Where's the code? Okay, here's a checkout. Discount code NINDAD. So it was going to be $21.99.
I can't wait till it says you've already used this code or something.
$17.59
with free shipping. That's 6 months of shampoo for $17.
Oh, that's more than 6 months of.
You can't beat that.
That's way more than 6 months of shampoo. I mean, that's a great deal. Should I throw something else in? I don't think I really want to. I don't need to throw anything else.
See,
in.
When I get a haircut, I actually wash my hair twice. So it's like, you do that too?
What, when you get it? Well, I haven't gotten for a haircut in a long time.
Well, you shave it.
Yeah.
Maybe
I just do it myself.
Maybe there's a Manscaped product out there that you can shave your head with.
I don't think we've ever advertised one. I tell you what I do need is I am getting low on my Dollar Shave Club razors that I had for the longest
Whoa.
time.
We're not talking about Dollar Shave Club. Come on,
I know.
Manscaped. I think Manscaped sells straight razors, John.
Do they?
I think they do.
All right, I can't do it right now.
This is. Let's move on.
Well, now, time to cause some mayhem.
Monthly mayhem. We've got a lot of updates. We have a lot to get through. We'll do it quick. First of all, as Drew said, this is episode 162. We jumped 40 episodes.
Listen, I've been asking for this for literally 2 years. And John keeps telling me why we can't and no. And John, tell the people why.
Tell the people. Let's talk about how the sausage is made here. When you put out a podcast episode, so Drew and I do this show every 2 weeks. We do it like that because we never want this show to be something that's in the way, something that's just taking our time up. We do it every 2 weeks. So every time we do the show, we're always really excited to do the show because we haven't talked in so long. And we do it every 2 weeks, but we do all these in-between shows too. If you remember, about a year and a half or 2 years ago, I don't know, whatever we did another episode number realignment where we jumped ahead because I counted. Remember, we did the Betwixt?
Yes, the Betwixt.
Right. So I started counting those as episodes, and we did another alignment. Well, here's the problem. We used to not give an episode number to all the specials that we do, and we do about 1 or 2 or 0 specials in between every episode. And so we didn't number them. The problem that I have is I think the podcast apps really like when you number them and you call them full episodes on Anchor. If you don't do that, they don't always end up in the podcasting app and it doesn't handle it right. And we don't like that. So all of our episodes are going to be numbered so that they are all full episodes, which means even the special episodes we do are going to have a number. So we're going to be going through numbers much more quickly now. So we are now at episode 162 that reflects every single piece of content we have ever put on our podcast feed. So this is the 162nd thing. By the way, that's the number of baseball games in a season. Just want to point that out.
That's way too many. That's way too fucking many games. Yeah.
So not every episode will be full episodes, but we'll do some cool stuff, and we do all our specials or whatever. But they'll all have episodes. We'll
signify a little bit that it's some type of special. It'll still be 163, 164, but we'll say special or something that you'll know it's not
all worth it. Our last 2 specials were a Fire Emblem Engage spoiler cast we did with Dylan. Gosh, it was like 4 days ago, and the Mario movie. Spoiler. I guess that was a spoiler cast too. So I love doing the specials because it's usually like one focused topic.
I'm so far behind my podcast. I didn't even get to listen to your Mario movie yet.
You should listen to the Mario movie one. Fire Emblem Engage might be something you probably are not interested in.
Probably not.
But Dylan's got a great new microphone. So yeah, and we had a really good talk. That was an episode I really wanted to do.
How was my voicemail? I feel it was a little long, but
how's your what?
The voicemail for the Mario movie.
Oh, no, it's fine. I mean, I edited like 60% of it out, but no, I did not.
You made me say weird things.
Did not. No, I agreed with it. I mean, the Mario movie was great. And I don't want to get into it right now. But
no, let's not. I'll just listen to it, and then I'll listen to you get into it.
Okay. We have a Substack. What's a Substack, you say? Well,
I'm going to be honest. I don't know. So this is the first time I'm going to find out.
I have heard people mention Substack, but I really didn't know what it was. Substack is really just a place where, think of it as if you're a journalist, you worked for a newspaper, and now the newspaper went under and you're a journalist and you want to put out stories. Where do you put them out? Do you make a website? That's kind of annoying. Do you what do you do? And how do you handle getting people to pay for your content and that sort of thing? So they can create a Substack and advertise their Substack and actually have paid subscriptions if you want. So it's kind of like replacing newspapers where you're like, if you were like from New York, Mike Lupica is a very famous sports journalist. And maybe you don't want to read the New York Daily News anymore, and you want to go to Mike Lupica's Substack. That's what it is.
Wow, this is nice. It's like a little mini website.
I know, right? It's pretty neat.
This is great. You can click the podcast. It brings you to Anchor. You got your YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, a little bit about us.
Look at
if
that.
you want to pay us money, I mean, yeah, just this is me literally clicking it for the first time. I'm a terrible host.
So this is not a paid Substack. You can subscribe to our Substack. You don't have to subscribe to it. You can just bookmark it, whatever you want to do.
Oh, can you add a Redbubble on here?
Yeah, I can do that. I should do that. That's a good idea. The URL is dadsafterdarkshow.substack.com. And we'll post our videos on there. We'll post articles on there. I feel like it's been a long time since I did like written video game commentary.
Yeah.
And this is it's a nice outlet. I liked writing.
So
I did some writing for it.
I did ask, like, can you just post video, like a short video, or like you said, an article straight to it, or do you need to tie it back into another social media?
I thought I could post our 30-second reviews up there, but I don't know how to upload the video. So I could probably just do a little article and link to the YouTube or something. But for right now, I'm just going to post those videos up there also when I do YouTube as well. So
I'm going to log in next time I have some time.
It's kind of a play thing.
Around. But
yeah, the reason why we created the Substack is social media just seems to be iffy. Twitter is up and down. They're having a lot of technical problems. And I think eventually I'm hoping Apple makes a version of Twitter. I would jump on that in a second. I think we're all kind of just waiting for a company to come along and make a Twitter. Substack says they're making a Twitter. They announced it like a week ago. They're doing like a Twitter type thing, but it's going to tie into Substack, so it probably won't be a Twitter. But yeah, so think of this as the hub of our social media. We have links to all of our other social media on there. We'll refer to it, but we're going to do some written articles, and I'll link them into the Discord and whatever, but you'll all end up at the Substack. So Drew, you can do written stuff too if you want to. Just let me know. But
remember that template I made? Maybe it's time. So
check out our Substack. Once again, that's dadsafterdarkshow.substack.com. My last article is on framerate. We also have a merch shop, which will soon be linked to from Substack. That is bit.ly/dads-merch-shop. So you can find
our
us
show
there.
Notes.
In our show notes as well. And we didn't talk about this, right? But Monthly Mayhem, we have a winner from the Kirby. God, I never remember the name of the game. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe.
Sure.
Monthly Mayhem from 2 weeks ago. And who are our winners, Drew?
We had some great competition here, but I gotta give props. Nintendo swept the board. Won every mini game, if you want to call it that. Got all the fluffer points. Did all the achievements. Went beyond all the achievements and unlocked the bonus achievements. Didn't matter though, not for this one. He dominated.
I heard Noah did all the work, by the way.
Makes
that's what I'm going to say. Noah did the high scores. So hopefully Nick gave his eShop card to Noah. I'm just kidding.
And then Darth Platypus. He actually finished in second, but he had the most balls, and he won the random drawing of $10. So can't beat it.
Congrats.
We're gonna have to start planning our next one here, John. Shortly, there's a lot of games coming out.
Yeah, I think we just didn't have the time this time. I would say next episode we can announce a new
we get a little bonus episode out there if we need.
We should do something crazy. I don't know, just something nuts. I don't know what else to talk about.
Sure, just fun. You know what we need? We need
Amaranth
outside.
to be a guest on our show.
I'll reach out. Just tell me the magic word. But we need something. You know what we haven't done in a while? A non-video game mayhem. The weather's getting nice. We need to do something. We gotta get creative.
Get a picture of yourself in a bikini on a beach.
That's pretty easy for me, actually.
You got to go full Borat.
It's time to talk about what we've been playing.
What have we been playing? We have been playing Wildfrost, a game that we have been anticipating for, I think, about a year.
Chucklefish. We love Chucklefish. Who doesn't love Chuckle? Great name, great games, great art styles, great little indie company.
Yep. And Wildfrost is... It's Slay the Spire with cuter graphics, let's be honest.
I disagree. I think it's more a card style game in the form of Inscription than it is with Slay the Spire, right? So hear me out. Slay the Spire, you're playing single cards to do damage towards an enemy, right? That card is then consumed. There's no cards that like stay on the board. You have your deck, you choose smartly and you play your cards, right? In this game, Wildfrost, like Inscription, you're setting up your cards on a physical board, right? And you got to put them in the right spot because the card, almost like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering or whatever, that card is now going to battle the card across from it. I think it's very different than Slay the Spire from the mechanics of the battle system.
Yeah, I see what you mean, because I think, like you're saying, Slay the Spire, you play cards, but none of them go on the board.
There's no board.
Right. Inscription, all of your cards go on the board, but in this game, some of your cards go on the board, and some of them are just played.
Some of them, yes, they get them in the treasure shops. They're called power cards or whatever they're called.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah,
right, they're going to give you some boosts or buffs. So overall, John, I think start off with this game. The art style is great, right? I love the art style. I actually love the little story. I don't know if in the beginning you find a couple Wildfrost cards, right? And they kind
like
of
the journal,
like the journal cards. Yeah. They're these cute little cards. It tells a little story about the characters, maybe a different civilization, and how and what the Wildfrost is. Essentially, the Wildfrost is the sun froze. Froze. Who knew? And so cute little story. Now let's start off in this town. This town is so confusing, right? You have like a back in an overworld home. We have a town. You have different little buildings and huts in the town that unlock stuff. From what I understand so far in this game, each one of these little huts represents some type of category in the game, and all it is like achievements or missions, like use this type of card 8 times, do 100 damage total, go spend this much money in the shop. And when you do these things, it just unlocks additional cards that you can then later find in your journey of a run. That's it.
Yep.
That I think that's all. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's pretty much sums up the entire town central hub area. Is that what you did out of this?
Yeah, it has a what is the name of that one game that I really liked? I'm looking at my phone. Where are you? Grindstone. It has like a grindstone, that overworld, because you're playing the games and then you come back to this hub and it's all about upgrading all the various areas of it. And so playing the games has that feel. That's the one thing like Slay the Spire doesn't have, is playing the games give you that external thing. I will say I much more enjoy the upgrading in Grindstone. I'm trying to find the diving board.
It's not like you bring back your coins or anything that you choose. It's literally just missions and achievements. That's it.
But they unlock cards that could then appear. Remember,
we're going to compare this to all different types of games, right? But Slay the Spire was based on how many experience points you got in that run.
Yes.
And then, then you would unlock cards, the same concept, but based on its, which I like better. The further you went, the more experience you got, the more cards you unlock.
Right.
This one, it's like, I could do 5 runs and maybe not unlock one card if I didn't focus on one of those achievements.
Sure. I mean, even in Slay the Spire, after a while, you don't unlock anything.
No, correct. You're done. You've maxed out. Anyways, that's the unlocking part. Let's talk a little bit about now. I want the actual cards themselves, because I actually really enjoy the cards. I enjoy that you select a hero to start with, right? Usually get to pick between 3 or 4 different heroes, and it kind of sets you up on which way you're going to, start your deck, right? And then it also comes with what tribe, I think they call it, which tribe you're going to have. So your sub cards, and I like that, and I like the concept of all of those, and I think there's some good diversity within there. I think they're fair. Would you agree with all that?
I would. The tribe is a lot like which class you choose in Slay the Spire.
Yep, exactly.
So if you pick a different tribe, you're going to get a whole different set of kind of card.
Yep.
So I would say, when you're playing early on, try to stick to like one or two tribes. You really get a feel for those characters, and then try to use a different tribe maybe later. Because I did the dwarf tribe for the first time
That's like
last
the brown.
night.
They're my favorite.
I know, but it was like the cards were so different and I didn't know what they were. And I was like, I'd rather just stick to getting the same kind of ones that I'm familiar with. But yeah, it gives these kinds of games lots of replayability because you're getting completely different kinds of cards. So I like that. I don't like the leaders, though. I feel like some of the leaders are just bad.
Yeah.
Remember when you play what was the game?
Rogue
Legacy. Sometimes you get like a set of like three characters you use and
start over.
And like all three of them are bad. Yeah, exactly. Like there are some good leaders, but sometimes I feel like my leader needs to have a lot of HP because if they die, it's like your king dying in chess. If they die, your run is done.
Correct.
And there's some leaders that have like 4 health, and it's like I do not feel comfortable with that at all.
Which means you really need some good sub-heroes or other cards to put in the front, right? So let's talk about the game mechanics. So the game mechanic is, right, you have a row of 3 and a row of 3. That's it. 6 cards on the table at a time, and then you have 6 cards on the table to the right with your opponents. So whatever is in your front is what's going to be attacked, right? That they're taking the blunt of the damage.
In general.
Yeah, because they have those aimless ones where they just hit whatever. But I think the problem is that I'm really having with this game. It's just I feel like I'm so underpowered.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm missing something. I've played about 5 hours. I think you played close to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I always kind of beat the first boss. The second boss, I usually make it to almost every time. I actually just beat the second boss the first time tonight. I feel like dumb luck. But I just feel like you do, your hero will be like 8 health and it does 3 damage. And then you fight a boss that has 80 health. I'm like, what? How am I ever going to beat him?
I know. When you beat the second boss, did it continue?
Oh yeah, just went on just like when you beat the first one.
It's kind of insane. I honestly am not loving it. And I know I'm not loving it because I'm not playing it right now. I haven't played it yet today. I keep saying I'm going to, and then I don't. I'm not loving it because, like you said, you feel very underpowered. When you play a game of Slay the Spire, you progress up the spire, and by the time you get to the spire, you've done about 12 encounters. You've done battles, you've done shops, you've done question marks. There's all the things you can do. So you really dictate your pathway and your deck. So by the time you get to the first boss, you should already have an idea of what kind of deck you're going to have. Are you going to have a poison deck?
Yep.
Are you going to have a strength deck? That's what you're looking for. And the fun of these deck building games is early on, usually the first few rounds of battle, you're trying to figure out, what am I going to go for here? Because you don't know what's going to happen. And sometimes you stumble into a really good synergistic deck, and sometimes you just have crap and you're going to die. This game is the same thing, except you're going to get to the top of the spire on the third battle. And in between that, you're going to start, the first one is always a battle, and then there's a second battle, and then the third is the first boss. And in between is like treasure, which is like you get a card, which is kind of a weird, it's not a character.
A boost card of some sort.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bonus special kind of card. I don't know how to explain it. Then there's the charms.
Which is key. Which is like a relic in Slay the Spire, right?
Right.
Charms are key. It should add 3 health. It should add 1 bonus damage. It should do a lot of different things which are key. I agree. I always go for charms.
That's the one that made me feel like Inscription the most. You take an existing card and you sort of amend it. And some charms are cool. Like there's one charm that gives you 6 more health. There's charms that give you a couple more attack or something like that.
They add Fury, which means you attack twice.
Yeah. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. Whatever, but you're going to get maybe 2, I would say 2 or 3 charms, probably like 2 charms before you get to the boss. You're going to get maybe 2 treasures. Maybe you'll have your chance at 1 shop. And I think when you go to the shop, you have to buy the crown. I think the crown is the most important.
I didn't realize how important the crown was until halfway through.
Took me a while too.
2 or 3 hours in.
Right. So
Yeah.
when you start a run, you can put your leader card down and then you start your hands. If you have the crown on another card, you can then put down that card at the beginning. So it lets you put down 2 character cards at the beginning before you even have to take a turn. So it's huge.
Correct.
It's going to save you a literal turn and it'll get
The
the
key is
card
to just
counters going.
yeah, it gets the heroes on the board, so
Yeah.
they're counter, right? So I just wouldn't really explain that every card that you
Yeah.
put on the board has a clock countdown, right? Some of them as little as 3 turns up to like 6 or 8 turns, which means every time the turn goes, that counter goes down, and at the end of that turn, and when it goes to 0 is when it attacks or does whatever it tells you.
Yeah, and it's a little confusing because if you haven't played this game and you're listening to us, you're like, "What?"
Yeah, it's the problem.
On every turn you play 1 card, which could be an attack, but then the counters go down 1 on your cards. So your cards will attack every like 3 or 4 or 5
Mm,
turns themselves, and you're attacking with usually smaller attacks in your hand. So it's kind of like 2 different ways to attack.
mhm.
That's where I'm just not.
Yeah, what do you focus on?
I know, like, I'm just not like when you play Slay the Spire, you have at late like 3 turns you can do. You can play 1 card, and like nothing on the screen actually happens besides that.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
this one, and like you're trying to get more turns and blah blah
I
blah
I
blah.
think
This
my
one,
other
I'm just I don't know
yeah.
the strategy.
I think my other problem is you have 6 different cards for the opponent that you're going against, and
Hmm.
they have all of they have counters for each card, and I have 6 people with counters on my own cards. I have to manage and keep an eye on 12 cards, right? And
I
then
mean,
that's
not you're in it. There's usually
well,
never 12 cards at one time. There could be.
once you get later in the game, there is, and then my point is though. Each of the 6 opponent cards have different kinds of buffs. They got the little green mushrooms things. They
Hmm.
got the double damage. They got the chili peppers.
It's hard.
They got like, and I'm like, oh my god, what's happening? And then with the turns ready, I'm like, I think I set up defense. I think I'm good. And then all of a sudden, some enemy in the back of the screen jumps your like and attacks just your hero. And
Yeah.
you're like, I thought I was going to survive. I was setting my turn up for the next turn, and then bam, dead, game over.
And there's cards that are like, if anybody gets snowballed, I gain 1 attack power.
Oh, fuck
So you're
those.
like, I'm going to use a snowball. And you're like, oh no, it's going to make this guy more powerful. There really is.
A
I think
lot
you have to
going
play
on.
this game a little slower than other card games. There's a lot going on. And it, like in Slay the Spire, you and I are probably really good at like
Oh,
understanding how
fast.
much health I will have when this turn ends.
Yep.
In this game, fuck,
No
you
idea.
you really don't know when there's like 3 guys about to attack and there's people that can hit a random card. There's so much luck involved there where you
Mm.
like I could die on this turn or he could hit somebody else. I really don't know.
I think that's the problem right there that you mentioned is
Mm,
that like you could think you know what you're doing, but there's certain skills that make it luck and unpredictable.
yeah.
That like it's frustrating because you have a strategy and then one of those cards fucked up the whole strategy.
Yep. Yeah.
You know?
I wonder if it would like if you played a turn and it showed you how much damage each card would take, if that would make it better. I could see them potentially patching in where they let you know on this turn, this much damage is about to happen to you. So at least you can say, look, I don't have to look at all of this person's cards and read between them and understand the damage every
Yeah. It
turn.
just it gets so
Maybe.
complicated when I have my guy, right? And like I said, you have a little heart on the left that says you're 10 health and a little
Hmm.
sword that says you do 3 damage.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden there's 3 bubbles below it. There's like I said, there's a chili pepper. Then there's like the bear claw teeth or whatever the fuck that means. I still don't know. And then there's like the little dark teardrop that means double damage. And it's
Right.
like I
Thorns.
have 10 health, but really if someone attacks me with 2 damage, they're doing 8 damage.
I know.
And it's hard to cipher that with all that's going on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think you have to
it's
slow
just
this one down.
there's so much going on. It's like I really really want to like this game, and I do like it, and I'm gonna keep playing it. It's just it's gonna be luck. If I beat it, it's gonna be luck.
Yeah. I'll say I don't like it right now. I don't. I'm not done with it yet, but I could end up being. I don't like it. And the runs are very quick because
Yeah.
you get through the furthest I have gotten is to the second boss. I got to the second boss. I thought I was going to beat him, and I didn't. That is 6 battles in. 6 battles. And that's like kind of as far as I've gotten. So my runs have been very quick. I have like sort of decided at this point, I'm just not going to win this game. So let me just try to unlock as many things as possible. Maybe once you unlock the 3rd pet or the 4th card in the shop, something will be worth it. I don't know if that's true, but like to me, I'm just trying to like do all of the achievement things and unlock things to see if something helps. Nothing has helped. And the gameplay, like I said, the gameplay can be very math intensive while you're playing. And sometimes you just have to play and just hope for the best because you don't want to sit there and you don't want it to be a chess match where you're sitting there for 5 minutes on your move. Like you don't want that to be the case. But there are so many times in this game where the enemy has 4 or 5 or 6 cards and you've got like a couple of guys and every 4 turns they'll hit for like 3 damage on one guy. And your cards are like attack for 2, attack for 1, increase your attack by 1, which means every 4 turns, instead of hitting them for 2, you'll hit them for 3 with 1 card. And that's like a whole turn. A whole turn should not be, I increased 1 card by an attack of 1.
I'd rather just attack 2 damage to the guy.
I know, like give me some. What would be really cool is if when you played those attack plus 1 cards, that they were permanent for your entire run.
That's what I thought they were at first. Or when you upgrade your health by 1.
Yeah, they're just temporary.
From battle to battle. They don't.
There's such tiny little buffs. Just make them permanent. Why are they temporary? I don't understand that.
Because when you move on from level 1 to level 2 to level 3, like you started fighting guys with 4 health. Like when I went to the first battle in level 3, the standard guy had like 25 health, John.
Right.
So like I still have 8 and we're doing 2 damage. I'm not going to beat. I don't understand how you beat him.
I mean, you have to get better cards or whatever. I just don't feel like I'm getting these great cards. There, some of the character cards can be good. There's like that big berry guy, and they'll have like 10 heart, which feels like a lot, but very soon it's
every 5 turns he attacks. It's like
it's so many turns before they do something. It's just not fun. Whereas in Slay the Spire, every turn I can I can attack for that. When you get a good card in Slay the Spire, it's like play. I just don't feel like I'm putting together a great deck. And by the time you get to the first boss, you've only been able to like add how many cards can you? You're probably only adding 3 cards to your deck by the time you get to the first boss. And it doesn't feel like I'm deck building.
No,
it just doesn't.
My other problem is when you beat the boss, right? You get the screen that pops up like, I get like a permanent upgrade, which it's not. It's for the run.
Yeah.
But it's like they're the worst 3 options. It's like, do you want to have the ability to add a hero? Because you only can hold 3 heroes at a time. That's the other problem.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean you can like only hold 3 heroes?
Like when you go to like the add companion card and you break the ice and you get to pick one, you only can have 3 companions in your deck.
Really?
Yeah. If you get a 4th one, it says which companion you want to add to your reserve.
That's exactly what I mean, though. I haven't even gotten to that yet, so I've never gotten 4 cards in this game.
So think about that. So when you beat a boss, you were like, I need a big buff. One of the buffs says you can add a hero. Like you can have 4 heroes instead of 3.
Right.
It just means you can have 4 cards, not anything else.
Right.
Or the other ones, like you can reduce the bell counter by 1, useless. Or you could add an extra card in your hand. I don't need any more cards in my hand. I have like 8 to begin with.
Well, it gives you more options to choose from. I think I beat the boss 3 times now.
And you get that. What do you pick?
I think twice I picked reduce the bell count because I feel like. So the bell count goes down every time you play a card, and then you don't have to go through all your cards, but at some point you can refresh your cards without using a turn, which is huge. You don't want to shuffle your cards when that means your turn is over.
I would never do that.
Fatal, exactly. So I feel like it's nice to have that. If I don't have a good set of cards and I refresh and then I get a card that can save me, I have used that one. But I agree with you. It's the same 3 choices, and it's just boring.
Here's my other problem too, is if your hero or one of your companions dies or gets damaged, that carries over to the next fucking battle.
Yeah, they're injured.
They're injured, and now they have half health and half damage.
I know. Everything is stacked up against you, and it's
There's
not
no bonus.
fun.
There's no like you never feel powerful. Never. It's always a struggle.
Yep.
You're always lingering on by your yeah.
And then the enemy sends out like an 18 heart guy who every time you attack anybody on the screen, they gain 2 hearts. It's just unfair. Like, you're just like, I don't want to attack anybody because it's going to make everything worse for me. So I'm just going to sit here. I don't know what the strategy is. My best run was I don't know what they call it. I'm just going to use the Slay term, the thorns, right? When I get hit, I inflict 3 damage back at you.
Yes, it's like the counterattack.
I think I had a leader that had thorn, and then there is a card you can get where if it's on the play surface, every other character card on the play surface, just yours, gets 3 thorns, which is great. Every time the enemy hits you, you hit them back for 3, and it's a great way. Like, even if you're outgunned, just if a 4 heart guy attacks you, they're down to 1 heart. I feel like Thorn is the only thing that can save you. So I always look for Thorn, but I don't always get it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm
gonna keep playing. I will beat this game, but I'm mad because it's fun, but it's frustrating as hell.
Tell me this. Does it not get in that we've talked about this before? Does it not get in that scenario where it's a game that's trying to copy another game, but it doesn't do it well? So it just makes you want to play Slay the Spire. Like, I just want to play to Slay the Spire now. Like, why am I playing this one when Slay the Spire is 100 times better and I have so much I can do in that game? There's a character I still haven't used yet. Why am I playing this? Because I paid $20 for it. That's
shiny. It's different. It's
know.
Colorful. It's fun. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm enjoying it. I'm just so frustrated. You know how I play games? Like, I just end this mode and I don't think I have an option to quit.
I know.
I don't know.
Last thing I will say about it is the UI needs some fixes. You know what's so annoying? It gets me every time when you get a charm and then you go to the screen and you go to click the card you want to put the charm on.
Oh, it's not there.
You have to click. You have to go and click the charm first and then put it on the card. Why would I not want to apply a charm? I mean, I can think of reasons why I wouldn't want to apply a charm right away. Maybe I want to wait for a better card. But like, I just feel like by default, I should just pick a card and put the charm on. So what it'll do is it'll show the card, and then when you press the button again, it lets you rename the card. It's like, I never, ever want to rename the card. Renaming cards should not even be in this game.
Don't even make that an option.
It's so stupid. What am I going to rename? I'm not going to name a card Drew. It's gone after my run. Like, I don't know. At least in Inscription, they come back, and it's like, oh, there's like a story. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
All right. Let's talk about what else we've played.
Sure.
I got the greatest update in the world, Drew.
Oh, God.
I finished Nintendo Switch Sports.
Who knew? Who knew that game was finishable?
I called it, what was it, 5 weeks ago or so? Nintendo Switch Sports got an update, and they said, you will be able to go get old items that you missed before. And I said to you guys, I think this game will have 1 year of content, and then after that, you can earn items that you missed. And that's exactly what happened. This was the 52nd week of the game. I finished the card and I got the dialogue. I posted it on my Twitter that said, you have 100% of the items. Congratulations. And at this point in the game, you know, they would probably continue on and have cards with older items on it, but I already got them all. So I am 100% done with Switch Sports.
Never playing again.
I still could. Part of me wants to try to A rank all the sports. I've A ranked 2. There are 7 sports. 7? Yes. Part of me is like, I feel free. I don't have to earn points anymore. And that's the only time I really played. But now that I'm done with it, maybe I just sit there and focus on tennis. And instead of just playing to lose to get points quickly, I play to win, I get to A rank, and then I move on to the next sport. So I can totally see doing it. Golf might be hard. Badminton is so boring. I can see coming back. I can't talk. I can see coming back to this game and making it a goal to A rank them all. But for now, I'm taking a break.
I hope when you make that decision, the servers are down.
They might be because
That's my hope, and I hope that because of for you, not because I don't want you to have. That's out of respect.
I know. I'm going to do a video and showcase all of the items in the game because I feel like I'm one of 5 people on the planet that can do that.
That's possible.
Yeah. So that's my update there. And then real quick, I will say that I did finish my Wargroove campaign.
Woohoo!
I got 3 stars in everything. You have to get 100 stars in the game to unlock the epilogue level, which I had done before, but I had never beaten the epilogue level.
How many total stars are there?
It's like 200 and something
then
stars.
I definitely did 100. I was doing a lot of the 3. I know I didn't do all of the 3 stars, but I did a lot.
I think if you 3-star every level in the campaign, you'll end up with like 96. I think you end up with 96 stars. So you are forced to play either the puzzles or the double trouble or the arcade mode. And I did that and unlocked epilogue. Epilogue is to 3-star it, you have to do it in less than like 48 moves. And it is like a huge level. And I wasn't interested in it, but I did come back. I 3-starred the final battle and then I 3-starred the epilogue. And I feel great. I completed the entire campaign. That's good. But I will say this. I never tried the arcade mode before. I tried it. It is one of the most boring things I've ever seen. You unlock characters throughout the game. So I decided, let me play with Mercia. And I did the easy. Every character has 3 difficulty levels.
Oh, I did these.
Okay, so it's easy, medium, and hard.
Yeah, I remember.
And you have to do 5 battles in a row. Not 1, 5. And so I did the 5 battles in a row on easy mode for Mercia. I did it. It was boring as hell. And I did it and I got 1 star. It's really dumb. I did learn that if you do it on hard mode, you will get the stars for easy and medium and hard. So if you're going to play the arcade mode, just do it on hard and go for the 5 stars. At least it feels a little bit worth it. I'm just not interested in it. I don't know. I might go back. I might not. I do want to go back and do the double trouble and try to 3-star everything. But I was a little disappointed with the arcade mode. That was why 5 battles?
Game, though.
Why not 3 battles? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why 5? And all of them are the same strategy. It's like, why 5? It's so silly. It should be 1. Just do 1 battle. I don't know. Just feels like artificially lengthened. So those are my 2. Those are 2 of my updates. But what else are you playing?
So I started Metroid Prime a couple weeks ago. Great smooth controls, sounds, really good sound quality. Now again, this is someone that never really played any Metroid games, right? But you know, I'm a fan of like first person type shooters. So I said let's give it a go. I have some problems, John, with this game.
Really?
Yeah, and I get it's a GameCube game. It just feels so empty. Like empty. Like,
yeah.
Like it's just exploring, which I love exploring in games. But as a first person shooter, I don't want to just explore. I want to kill things. I want to shoot. Like, and that whole first level when you're on the what do you call it? The space you know, not you're not on a ship.
I never played it.
You get off the ship, you land on like a space station. You're on a space station. That's like the whole first level. It's just like I think I killed like three guys, 3 aliens. Like there's and it was like an hour long. Like I'm going around, I'm exploring, I'm backtracking, I'm hitting some A's and B's to interact with some things and do some stuff. But like
some A's and B's.
And also, why the fuck would you use the same button that you use to shoot to open a door? Someone please tell me if I'm doing it wrong. The only way to open the door is to shoot my gun. I don't understand that.
I mean, that's how the original Metroid was. You open a door by shooting it.
It's stupid. I wanted to hit like A or something and open it. I don't want to shoot.
That's what you do in Metroid. You shoot the door.
Let's be honest, back in the day, there's 2 buttons, John. We have like 30 buttons on controllers now.
It's tradition, man.
Well, it's bullshit. I don't know. Call me crazy. I haven't gone back. I need to go back. I made it to the first planet or the second level, whatever the hell you call it. Same problem. beautiful little planet. I'm walking around. There's fucking nothing to there. I find one area with like 2 little bugs. I kill them, and that was it. Like, it's not
Think
really a first-person shooter.
I
Maybe it's me.
It's not. No, as I was going to
Me.
say, it is not a first-person shooter, though. That's the thing is we're trained to think of a game where you see the weapon as a first-person shooter, but this is more of an exploratory game with shooting elements.
But
But
there's nothing to really explore. It's not a fun exploration game, and I feel like it should be.
yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be hidey holes and lots of secrets to find, like just every Metroid game. I mean, like if you think about the original Metroid,
Well, I
you
hate
go
Metroid.
through.
That's my problem.
If you don't explore, right, you go down a tunnel
Yeah.
and you go out a door and you go up or down and you go in a tunnel and you can be like, there's nothing here, but there's so many hidey holes and hidden missiles and all that sort of thing. But I haven't played the
Yeah.
game, so
I don't know. And maybe that's my problem, right? I was never really a fan of the old Metroids, and I saw this 3D first person type shooter game, and I was like, you know what? I like the idea of Metroid with like the space concept and Samus and her tools and that she has. Like I like that idea. It's like I'm gonna give it. I think it just fell short. I think too high of an expectation. I think I had for the game. I will
maybe,
go
but
back and I'm gonna play it.
yeah.
But I will, more shiny things came out. But yeah, it just felt very empty. Best way to
Yeah.
describe it.
Yeah, it can still click with you. There's still
I'll
time.
just wrap up my other two really quick. DK Tropical Freeze, nothing new, but new to me. Never played it. The wife and I have been playing this game. Just we play with each other. Just sometimes the kids watch. What a great game, John!
Sorry, I can't. I'm a baby. I know. I'm a child.
What a fun game! What a great game!
Like breaking news: DK Tropical Freeze is awesome. Not sure why you've missed this for so long.
I don't know, but just like the unique levels are well, paced out between each other, like the barrel levels or the minecart levels, some vertical levels, underwater levels. It's all fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's
You're trying to go for all the Kong letters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we're doing it like sporadically. Sometimes we'll replay a level if we knew exactly where it was. If we didn't find one, we won't replay it, but we're gonna go back and probably try to 100% at the end.
Right.
We're probably like world 5 or 6. We're pretty far along.
You're probably pretty close to the end, I think.
I think so. A lot of fun.
Great
and then
game.
lastly,
Can't wait for a new one.
I came home from the Mario movie. I said it in my little voice message about all the Punch Out references, and I said, man, I miss Punch Out. As you know, I love Punch Out. So I booted up. My Wii U is still hooked up in my living room because of damn Disney Infinity, even though my 2 doesn't play it anymore. So I said, well,
whoa, shocker.
Shocker. Doesn't play it for about a week.
Yeah.
So I busted out the original, well, not the original, the Punch Out Wii version.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the best version?
I mean, the original is always just going to be a classic, but it is a really good game.
It's a really good game. So played through the entire game. I beat it. When you do that and you unlock the contender mode, maybe, which is now the same mode, this was genius, by the way. You play all the same exact contenders, but they're more challenging. You're like, well, that doesn't sound that cool, but they add different things to the character. So for example, Glass Joe has like a Botson, what do you call it? Those Botson helmets, like those hard foam ones. I mean, what do you call it?
I don't know what they call them, but I know what you mean. Like you see like the amateurs wear it in the Olympics and all that.
Exactly, right.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't punch him in the head. It doesn't do any damage.
Oh my God.
Cool.
You're making me want to play this game now. That's so good.
It's so King Hippo has like a sewer cap on his belly. So you can't punch him in the belly. You have to knock it off before you can do it.
Yeah.
It's like all these cool little twists, like genius, but just made the whole battle like a whole different take on it. I played through that mode and I made it all the way up to Mr. Sandman, the very last guy. I can't beat him, John. I've watched like YouTube like videos on like strategies. It's just I can't do it. I mean I didn't have a lot of time.
Is he too twitchy? Is that the thing? What's the problem?
Yeah. I think once you get into like rounds 2 and 3, his patterns I think are random. So it's all how quick. It's not really muscle memory. It's just reaction time.
Mm-hmm.
And struggling. I mean, I had to leave for vacation or for my work trip, so I didn't get to probably put as much time. But I probably spent a good 2 hours on him. I just couldn't take him down. And then once you unlock him, they have a random contender mode where they just throw random people at you. But that is where you get to fight Donkey Kong, and I want to do that. I don't think I've ever have.
I have never done it either.
Because I can't beat Sandman. I'm literally, if I beat Sandman, I can play Donkey Kong. I can't do it. And the other thing it has is there's achievements where every contender has 3 achievements, right? So it might say beat Glass Joe by letting him knock you down twice, or beat Glass Joe by not punching him in the head. Every person has 3 different things you have to do to unlock the star. It's such a good game. They took Punch-Out to the next level. They really thought of a lot of stuff to make the repeatability there. And that's Punch-Out for the Wii, and it's awesome.
It is one of the low-key best Nintendo games of all time that you don't hear get talked about. I don't know.
No.
It's so good, and it has that replayability. And then, like I said, once you finished all of it, you can go and try to get all the achievements for each individual fight. And like you said, I've never played Donkey Kong either, so I think you're tempting me to throw it in. Does it require the sensor bar?
You do, because you have to switch it over to the Wii version, and then you got to go. Yeah, you do.
So it does have the sensor bar. Crap.
You don't have to. Once you're in the game, you do have to use it, because every time you die, you have to just like move it to click rematch.
Ugh. I know. I hate that. I don't have a sensor bar set up. Maybe I just will. I hate that.
And you just use the Wii remote sideways.
I would love to see them just remake this game. Just do classic controls, because I mean, you could just do classic controls.
I know, just port this thing. Well, this is the game. If you remember, it came out with you could use the Wii remote and nunchuck while standing on the balance board. Like, imagine trying to fight somebody with that.
Yeah, no chance.
No chance.
It's too much. All right, this is what they should do. They should re-release the original Punch-Out, Super Punch-Out, and the Wii Punch-Out in one package. Classic controls. Boom. Just do
$100 and throw in like a green boxing glove.
Yeah, special edition. Oh man.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty neat. All right, cool.
That's it for me.
I have 2 other things I've been playing. I'm doing it. I'm on the Revenge Tour. I have a list of games on my Revenge Tour. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I am back in. I talked about this on the last show. I started back from the beginning again, because obviously I wasn't very good at it before. So I was hoping something in the tutorialization would click for me. I think there's a couple things that I'm doing better now. And on the last show, I said my goal before we did this would be to get to where I had gotten previously or further. And I'm happy to say I think I'm there. There is at least one boss fight, the one that made me quit, which I can't find right now. I'm not sure where it is, because it's kind of like multiple worlds, and you go from one world to the other world and you see where you can go. I can't find this boss, but I have fought several bosses I never fought before and beaten them. So I feel like I'm doing really well. I've gotten to more worlds. I think I have more power. I think I've done more upgrades than I did before. And I think guarding is what's helping me, because you can deflect, which is like a parry, but then just guarding is useful. And I don't think I ever really tried to guard before. I was always trying to do parry, 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 or whatever. So I'm feeling really good. I'm going to be working on it some more this week. If I can beat this game, I can already tell you this is going to be the hardest game that I ever beat.
Wow.
But this game has haunted me. This game has haunted me since
you've been playing this game for a while, haven't you?
Well, I mean, I played it like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I quit. And now I'm replaying it. So we'll see. Maybe I'm hoping by the next episode I can have it beat. If I can beat it, it'll be by the next episode. So I've been enjoying that. I've been having fun with that. And then I'm back into Breath of the Wild, Drew. I didn't see this coming. We watched the trailer, and we'll talk about that later. But I was like, you know what? I want to get back into Breath of the Wild and get a feel for the game before the new one comes out. I thought about restarting, but about a year, I think it was a year and a half ago, I started a second playthrough, because I hadn't played the game since 2017. And I loved my playthrough of it. And what happened was, once I got the 4th Divine Beast, I was like, okay, I don't want to go fight Ganon, because there's no point in beating Ganon if you're going to do other things. So I said, okay, I'm not going to go fight Ganon. I am just going to do some shrines or whatever. And then something came around and I just fell off of it. So a few days ago, I put it back in. And I was like, let's just continue from where I was. And I mean, I didn't know how to shoot my bow. I didn't know how to use a shield. I'm still not sure I remember all the battle mechanics, but I think I'm still way better off than restarting the game. Restarting the game is great. This game has such a great opening experience. Now I'm good. So I am playing this. I have about 48 shrines done. I'm trying to focus on side quests because when I beat it the first time, I think over half the side quests I hadn't done.
I
So
can't believe that you did. I mean, I think I did all of them.
I focused on doing all the shrines, and
Those too.
I think the last 20 or 30 I had to use a map to find the rest of them. I just didn't do the side quests. But man, I'm telling you, this game has its hooks in me again. And I have a whole bunch of quests to do.
Please don't burn yourself out.
No, I'm not going to burn myself out.
You are.
I've been trying to do the side quests, the shrine quests, which I'm not super fascinated with because I know I've done all the shrines already. But man, there's all of these DLC.
I haven't played it since 17.
Did you ever do all the DLC quests where you had to?
I did. Yep, I did the Master Sword one. They did the Alpha. Yeah, I did all those. I did everything there is to do in Breath of the Wild besides collect the fucking seeds because there was no point in that.
Oh, really?
I did everything else. I collected every single armor. I remember farming all the dragon scales. Like I did to sell them. I did everything there was possibly to do besides the seeds.
Deeper and harder, Drew, always.
Well,
I'm going to
penetration.
I'm going to continue going. I'll tell you one of my favorite things to do in Breath of the Wild that I was doing today is freaking scanning all my amiibo in and having all the meats and
those
stuff come down.
In the middle. Yeah.
And I've got a ton of fucking amiibo and I was having a blast today. I was like, to-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. And you just start stocking up your inventory. And then I had to stop and do a whole bunch of cooking because I didn't have a lot of meals that would just do my heart. So I was doing that and I had a lot of fun. And then I've been hitting up shrines and I'm trying to get my stamina wheel up. And it's like, wow, that loop is so addictive. But I'm trying to find all the outfits. I know I didn't get all the outfits the first time. I'm trying to do it by reading the clues and figuring it out. But if it takes me like 45 minutes and I'm having trouble, I feel like as long as I give it a nice, honest attempt, I'll go look it up. I don't want to spend 5 hours doing it. And yeah, so I'm in the middle of trying to get the dark armor. I'm just going to do a lot of that stuff, but I think I need to do the DLC. So my goal this week is to do the DLC because having the Master Sword fully powered up is really nice.
The Master Sword trials are super hard.
Because there's like 3 difficulties.
Probably the hardest Zelda thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Out of any Zelda game.
I did them all, but I was probably better at battle than I am right now. I'm still trying to get it in my muscle memory. But what I do want to do is I want to do the one where you get the motorcycle. Yep. Because when I got the motorcycle the first time, that was the last thing I did in the game.
But yeah, you didn't need it anymore.
So it was so super useful, but I never used it. So I feel like now I should just do this immediately because there are huge areas of the map where I can see the map. I've unlocked all the areas, but I haven't done any shrines in those areas. So I need to explore. And the motorcycle would be super helpful. So I feel like as much as I want to try to get all the armors this week and whatever, I need to go do, I don't know what, I think it's the DLC where you have the one-hit sword. That will get you the motorcycle.
5 years. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think the one where you have to do there's like 3 difficulty levels. That powers up your Master Sword. And I can do at least easy and medium at least to get that. But I want to get the bike. So my goal this week is to just stop everything and go get the freaking bike.
Well,
and that'll make everything faster.
You'll be playing Advance Wars.
Friday, I will be playing Advance Wars. I can get the bike before Friday.
Did I need to pre-order that? Actually, that might be a digital.
I don't think you need to pre-order it.
I don't mind if I get that one digitally.
I can't wait for it.
I wouldn't mind having that one.
I cannot wait to see what that looks like.
Let's get to the meat.
Drew, we finally got the trailer that we've been waiting for, the Tears of the Kingdom trailer. If you remember, and I know you do, the Breath of the Wild trailer is one of the great game trailers of all time. Tugs at the heartstrings, nostalgia, and blew us away. it's hard to remember now, but we spent a long time not having information on Breath of the Wild. We really saw very little of the game. And when they dropped this at that Nintendo Switch presentation, it was freaking mind-blowing. Go watch the Nintendo New York City reaction watching this trailer. Everyone is in this dead silence. And then at the end, they're all like, ah! We've seen enough of this game now, and we know what the Breath of the Wild universe looks like. So I don't think it has that effect. But this was a damn good trailer, was it not?
Oh, yeah. It was. Yeah, I thought it was a great trailer. I thought it showed a lot, but not. I think there's still so much mystery, which is perfectly fine in a Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny because the things with some of these trailers you see with Nintendo games and games that you love, it's like, it's such you don't see a lot. It gets your hype up, but you really don't know what you're getting into. It doesn't show a lot. But at the end of the day, like, I don't even need to see any. I know it's going to be a great game. Like the trailer is doesn't do much for me.
I want to excuse my partner here for a second. By the way, before the show, he watched the trailer for the second time. I've watched this trailer 20 times at least.
Trailers.
I don't feel like your energy level is where it needs to be right now. This trailer was so good. It's almost better than the first trailer.
I don't think that's true.
It follows the same sort of formula. It starts out in the beginning, very peaceful, whatever. And then we see some story. But man, once you start seeing Ganondorf, holy shit. First of all, one of my complaints of the first game, and I didn't have many complaints, but one of them was Ganon was like Calamity Ganon. Games need to have a human or human-like character to interact and bounce off and feel emotion. And Calamity Ganon was just a big spider-looking thing, you know?
Yeah.
I'm so excited that we are getting Ganondorf, and his dialogue that was just in the trailer was incredible. And his scream, I mean, like, so good. I cannot wait to defeat the guy. And then that right at that point of the trailer, when he screams, is when you hear that classic Zelda tune.
Yep.
Which is kind of what they did in the first trailer. And oh man, like, you get a little teary.
I will say this trailer. Well, and here's my thing. The first trailer was very focused on the environment and showing off the world, right? Hyrule. This one was a lot more focused on, I feel like, small clippets of action and fighting and diving and driving. Like, it was more on the action of the stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I think the beauty of Breath of the Wild was the exploration and never knowing what was around the corner. So it was the mystery of that. I feel like now that we know that, the expectation is it's going to be similar to that, even though it might be totally different with the shrines and we don't know.
Yeah.
But this trailer didn't focus a lot on the exploration of the land. It was very heavy on action sequences
and characters,
right? So to me personally, that's why I liked the other trailer better, because I'm all about the exploration, seeing the land and seeing that reward, seeing those, what do you call the towers that, like standing up on the towers and overlooking. This is much different with the sky.
It's exactly what they are.
Just towers.
Yeah.
With the Skyfall stuff, or what are we calling them now?
Skylands.
The Skylands. I don't know. And again, I'm sure it's going to be so much fun once I have it. I'm not sold on the Skylands yet. It'll because be it seems like they're so far down. And I do like your theory that we talked about last time about that's the load-in sequences. Again, I don't want to take anything. The trailer is fantastic. I just, when you compare it to the Breath of the Wild one, trailer-wise, I thought the other one was better. It's just two different totally feels. With this is more action sequence focused.
Yeah. So my biggest takeaway in what I learned from this trailer is it feels like you're going to be fighting with these other characters. And if you remember in the first game, you don't really fight with the other characters very often. They sometimes will help you to get into the Divine Beasts.
Yep.
But they don't help you at all in the Divine Beast. They're kind of like NPC characters, and that's it. In this game, I feel like they're trying to communicate to us, you are going to be fighting with these characters. There's so many scenes where you have a bunch of people behind you, or you're going into battle, and there's even like a piece of dialogue. I'm not sure who says it, but they say, "You're not alone, Link." And I think that's a big resounding theme of this game is you are going to be playing with some AI controlled or whatever NPCs. And I think that's really fun. I'm really curious to see what they do there.
So
The other thing, oh, go on.
no, no, no. Well, all I'm gonna say with that being said, like, what do you think that does for the storyline of this? Like, what's your theory? What's your thought? I mean, is this after? Is this before?
My current theory is there's going to be some time stuff in this game. There has to be. We're seeing Zelda with sort of like a shorter hair, but then we're seeing her with a much shorter hair. And right at the end, she says something to like Link, like, come find me, Link. Like, why would you say, come find me, Link? She's just sitting out in the open. She's not in a prison or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Now,
I have a feeling that there are two timelines in this game that we are playing in what is the sequel to Breath of the Wild. And I have a feeling that, you know, that sequence where Link is trying to catch Zelda and she's falling down.
mhm.
I think she's going back in time and she is trying to affect the environment to help in the future. So like we need to like, I think we've seen scenes where the Master Sword is broken and
Yep.
that I think like she can fix it and she can do things that affect the future that help Link. And I think they are helping each other through time. Here is my bombshell theory. Previously, I thought we would see a Dark World. That was kind of my fanfic of the
Yeah,
trailer. There could be. Here's what I think. And I'm hoping this is true, but this is out there. I think Zelda is also a playable character and they're not showing it yet. I think in the previous world, in the 100 years ago or whatever, wherever Zelda is,
yep.
I think she's playable. I think you're going to go back and forth between Zelda and Link, and she will be playable. That's my theory.
It's gonna be
on
like
this.
that whole Paper Mario Thousand-Year Door concept, right? When Princess Peach could put stuff in the treasure chest and then it would show up for Mario down on,
Mhm.
I get simplest version of it, but to your point, that's what it's gonna be. She's gonna be able to do things that change the future. Now, remember, we did have Breath of the Wild 1.5, right, with Hyrule Warriors, and people can forget about it. They can say it didn't exist, whatever they want. The fact is, it existed specifically to tie in the story of all of these games, right?
Mm.
And spoiler alert, fast forward if you still plan on playing that game. That game took place, was a prequel to Breath of the Wild, right?
100 years ago.
100 years prior to it. If you beat that game, God, I hope I'm not wrong because it's been a while. It pretty much changes the storyline. It's
Mhm.
like an alternate universe that says, like, 100 years ago, if we did these things differently, it actually changes what happens in Breath of the Wild, right? It's like the calamity didn't happen. We prevented the calamity.
Right. It's an alternate timeline.
That's got to be what this is. This is Breath of the Wild different timeline because the calamity didn't happen. The calamity didn't happen. So this is actually taking place the same exact time that Breath of the Wild is taking place, but because of what happened 100 years ago, it's changing the present day. And that's what we're going to see.
Are you saying it's the Age of Calamity timeline, the Breath of the Wild timeline, or like a third timeline?
It's the same, like the day you walk out on the plateau in Breath of the Wild, like I think let's say that's day one.
Mm-hmm.
Tears of the Kingdom, when you start the game, it's still day one, but the world is going to be different and the calamity never happened.
That's possible.
Because of the
interesting.
effects from Hyrule Warriors game.
Yeah, I think a major part of this story is they are not giving a clue on, and I feel like there's a lot under the surface we don't even know, and that's the way it should be. Game trailers shouldn't give away everything, but there is something kind of huge that they have not let on yet, and I cannot wait to see it.
I just think that when Age of Calamity came out for Hyrule Warriors, that's like obviously was in the heat of this game. The story was already written for Tears of the Kingdom, right? It has to be connected somehow. There's no way they would have had it out with saying there was this story just to not make sense.
I will argue that hardly anybody actually played Age of Calamity, and it would suck if it's like one of those things where it's like Kingdom Hearts,
Sure.
where you put a game on some little system and you expect it's like the Mandalorian. Like I expect you have played this, and you're like, no, nobody played that, and now you feel like you're missing out on a situation.
Well,
But I
they
see
could
what you're doing.
explain it.
I
Yeah,
it's certainly possible as long as you wouldn't have to play Age of Calamity to understand it.
it
There's
just seems
something going on.
like in a Hyrule Warriors game, why not just say it's Hyrule Warriors Zelda 2 and just put all the characters in? Why add this massive storyline that ties into all this version of Zelda?
When they did Age of Calamity, right? We all said, well, we already know the ending of it because it takes place 100 years ago, and then it turned out we didn't because it was an
We
alternate
did it.
timeline.
So it
Yeah.
literally, and that's why I'm saying Tears of the Kingdom now is that it created this new timeline.
Okay.
Because of that game.
I can't
We'll
wait.
Really quick, what's up with Zelda's voice?
There are so many people that criticize Zelda's voice. I don't know why. I like it. It's fine. What's the problem with it?
Hold on.
Is it the British accent? What is it? What am I
sounds
holding on for?
Old. She sounds
Old. She's British. British people sound old.
Well, maybe they should have hired Sadie.
Well, it's the same Zelda voice as it was in the first game. A lot of people have criticized it, and I don't know what it is. Like, I think it's fine. I don't know. It's weird. I really like this version of Zelda too, because she's very much not princessy, and I like the blue color, and I always loved that in the first game. So I don't know. I'm fine.
So, but in the trailer, we didn't really see any Calamity type stuff, did we?
I don't think so. We're seeing Ganondorf.
I'm telling you, I think the Calamity never happened.
Do you remember the
version of the game?
Do you remember the first teaser we got when they were going like underground? Because we didn't see that in this trailer, but there's the scenes where Zelda and Link are going underground. They're holding the torch. It's the first time we had gotten a hint that there was a sequel. And that's when you see Ganondorf and he's kind of upside down. He's a skeleton and he kind of turns his head. Like, I'm curious to see where that cutscene is in the game.
Yeah.
If that's the beginning or whatever. But I was going to play this game. This trailer hyped me up. I'll probably watch it 20 times more before it comes out. What an amazing trailer. It's hard to follow up that first one. I love the way the music beats. I love the Zelda theme. And there's so much in this, the robot battles. There's so much going on. And they didn't even show any of like the fusing stuff and whatever, but we did see Link hold his sword with the shield fused to it, the rocket launcher. This is going to be so good. I don't want to be the person that says this could be the game of the year, because like you got to see the games and play the games. But this just looks like it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait.
Last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Will Link jump?
He can jump already.
Did he? Well, yeah, but like, did he jump in Breath of the Wild, or was it still jump off an edge?
No, he can jump and you attack. It is weird. The jump button is X. Every game, the jump button is usually B, but that's the speed button. Because in most games, the speed button is like one of the triggers, or you tap the L stick. I hope they change it. I'm still not used to jumping with an X button. I hope they do change it. But if they don't, playing Breath of the Wild now will help me, I guess. But I don't know.
All right. That's all I got.
All right. Let's talk TV.
TV.
I like that we call it TV, but like if we were younger, we'd be like, let's talk streaming. What are you watching? I think we're watching some of the favorite shows. Let's start off with this. What did you think of, we haven't talked about it yet. What did you think about The Last of Us?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And listen, I get the idea. It's not a zombie show, right? It's and I think you said it best to me once in a text. It's literally called The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? It's about a human relationship thing. I thought it was fun. I thought there was a lot of episodes that were really entertaining. I thought there was some that were a little I thought they tried to be very artsy, and again, I never played the game, so maybe that's what the game is. And also with today's TV world, they try to stick out a little bit. But I thought it was okay. I don't think it was like the best thing since sliced bread, and I'll watch season 2 if they go forward with it. But it was good. It was good. It was average for me. I don't think it was anything more or anything less.
I thought it was incredible. I mean, my experience is just different than yours because I've played the game, so I knew, most of the story. And there was like some divergences in story that we did see, most notably the Bill and Frank, because Frank is dead in The Last of Us. Sam, I always forget his name. Sam and Henry. Sam is deaf in the show, but he's not deaf in the game. But I feel like every time they diverged from the story, it was for a good reason and made for a new sort of perspective on things.
Yeah.
I loved the final episode when they showed how Ellie was born and kind of gave a sort of like possible explainer about why she is immune. And I love the fact that the woman giving birth to her was actually the voice of Ellie in the game. So I love the way they brought in a lot of the voice actors. All the major voice actors were in the show and they played great roles. That was great. I'm maybe a little disappointed at the end because I thought we would see something different with the way the ending plays out. And it was like exactly like the game.
Yeah.
So and when you play through with Joel going through the hospital to go get Ellie, it's so fun and there's so much stealth involved. And they just made it a quick like murder montage, and that's it. But you really have to stealth your way through. But I
agree. Like it kind of wrapped up really quick for being a slower show, which is I have no problem with the original pacing. Like I don't mind a slow show like that, but like the last episode was like bam, bam, bam. Like okay, that was a lot to unpack quickly, which was the opposite of how the whole other flow was. So let me ask this again, spoiler alert, but I think it's a given at this point. How many years passed from the first game to the second game? What's that gap?
I think it's 7.
7. Okay.
I think it's 7 years. She is, God, I think she's 14. Yeah, I think it's 6 years actually. I think she's 14 in the first game and she's 20 in the second game.
Yeah.
It's a good distance because Ellie looks she looks older in the second game. It's not a short amount of time.
That's what I heard was they weren't going to cast her for the second one.
I mean, I feel like you have to. The Ellie in the second game is so much grittier and feels like a different character. She's still there, but she's not as like, how like in the first season, she's like telling jokes from a book and that sort of thing. That is gone in the second game. In the second game, she is all business. She has had a lot of tragedy in her life, and that is gone. So you can see Ellie in her face, but a lot of the little girl Ellie is just not there. And so it'll be interesting to see how they can change. And I have confidence they'll do it, how they will transition into this second season with Bella Ramsey. Who, by the way, is, what is she, 20 years old? Like, she is the age of Ellie in the second game.
I don't disagree, but I thought I read somewhere they were going to not. And I'm surprised that they maybe didn't go in a different direction and didn't make a gap. But I think the way it ended was pretty clear that they were going to kind of gap it.
Yeah, and the second season should match the second. I think we've already heard that they're going to do 2 seasons to match the second game. And I hope that they do like 1 or 2 seasons for the third game, because I feel like the third game will come out.
True.
And then just end it. I don't want to see them like make up stories or whatever.
Agreed.
But it was great. It was fantastic. I'll probably watch it through again while I'm working some weeks. I really did enjoy it, and it's not that long. It was a great time.
It's not.
Mandalorian?
I have not watched the latest episode, but I'm caught up with the rest of it.
So you haven't? Okay, because the Wednesday is the final episode. You haven't seen the last one. Okay, yeah. It was a good episode. I will say this.
It's fun. I mean, there's some parts of it that are making it less Mando and more Star Wars.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. The fun part about Mando in the first 2 seasons was every episode was a new adventure, and he had a bounty, and that was his mission, right? I hate to say it, but like Grogu is now obviously the main focus, and I wonder when they came up with the concept of Mandalorian if that was always the case. Like, what if Grogu came out and it was like, that's not Baby Yoda, that's ugly Yoda. Like, and people didn't like him. If they would have continued this journey of it, making it now about the Mandalore and Grogu, like the show was awesome because it was just about this bounty hunter guy who was kind of a rebel, who just went to ice planets and killed spiders and just did these cool things. And like, now it's into the Star Wars world of politics and, you know, whatever the fuck that side story was with the doctor, like,
Oh yeah,
just like
very Star
that
Wars.
very Star Wars, like Andorish, and I loved Andor, but like I don't really I feel like they're not really sure where they're going with it, or maybe I'm just fucking lost. But
I think they know. I think the last episode will help you a bit. But
okay,
I agree with you. The first 2 seasons were very much, just Pedro Pascal and Baby Yoda. And this season has made me feel dumb. One of the
yeah,
reasons I really liked the first season when they did it was it felt like a reboot of Star Wars. The Star Wars universe is fine, but since the original trilogy, and I'll date myself, but since the original trilogy, they've gone in so many directions. They did the prequels, that's fine. Then they did the whatever you want to call the latest 3, and then they had Rogue One, and then they've had the shows and the Han Solo movie. And the worst part was the cartoon. I'm going to call them cartoons, right?
mhm,
Because they started filling in gaps between movies with
yeah.
animated TV shows. And it's like, oh
But
my
nobody's
God, like,
watching all that.
yeah, like I just don't like how a movie and then a movie and then a movie and then, oh, you have to watch this show over
Well, I
here
heard the
and then
Attack of the
continue.
Clones or whatever it's called
Yeah.
cartoon that has like 7 seasons is like
Clone Wars
Clone Wars is like
Yeah.
pivotal to watch and understand everything that happens in that. Like
in the
that's what
prequels.
a lot of people say that. Like
Yeah.
I don't have the time to watch a 7-season cartoon.
And it's old. And
Yeah.
it's the animation is not great in the early parts of that show. It's like it's kind of like it's hard to watch. It's
Yeah.
like playing N64 games.
I tried watching it. I same
I
thing. I
I
couldn't.
f- I felt like having the Clone Wars affect the prequels really annoyed me.
Mm,
But the fact that now the Clone Wars plays such a big role in the Mandalorian really pisses me off more.
yeah,
I
agreed.
don't like it because I wanted this to be a standalone reboot of a story, and they just keep bringing in more and more
Well,
and
I think
more.
that's the point, right? We were hoping to see more. I mean, the Star Wars universe is great. I
Mhm.
love it. I like,
Yeah.
but to your point, like we're now just tying it all back into the other shit. Like, why can't we just have it about this guy
Be its own thing.
just doing adventures and
I
stuff? You
know.
know, it's like,
Exactly. And I was already pissed off. I didn't realize that I needed to watch the Boba Fett show
oh
to
yeah,
fill in the gap with the Mandalorian. They never
that
told me
that
that.
was bad. They shouldn't have done that.
They never told me that. I had a feeling that Mando was in some of the episodes of Boba Fett
Oh,
just
he was a
from
pretty
seeing
big
what people
part of
saw
it.
on Twitter. But like I didn't realize that was such a necessary part to it because when they come back in this season 3 and you're like, all right, let's see what's happened with Baby Yoda. And he's just there and he's
Yep.
mostly the same. I mean, he's not that different of a
No.
character. And it's like, okay, what happened? Did he do training? And it's like, oh no, that was all in the Boba Fett show. So it's like, so I kind of have to watch the Boba Fett show, but I still haven't watched it.
Oh,
I'm
you
kind of
should.
annoyed.
You should watch
I
it.
still
It's not.
haven't watched it.
I think it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah, but I think it's just dumb. Like
Watch it. You'll
this
like. It's fine.
show should be a sequential thing. It shouldn't be the story is continued in some
It's all
other
intertwined.
show. It's so
I
why
agree
didn't they
with you.
just do the Boba Fett show and just say Mandalorian season 3 and just make that season 3? Because
Agreed.
he's in it. He's in it. Why call it the Boba Fett? Like I don't understand the Book of Boba Fett. Just make
How
that
do you-
season 3. I
How
don't
do you feel
understand.
that Pedro Pascal doesn't even have to show up on set?
That what? Oh,
you don't?
so
He's
he doesn't act.
He doesn't act. He just voices.
So was that I recently heard that and I wasn't sure that's what I heard.
All of season 3. I don't know about the previous season 3. His contract was he didn't have to show up on set at
Right,
all.
so
Everything was like voice over the computer.
So was he actually in the suit in 1 and 2? I mean, besides the
I don't
scenes
know
where he
about.
takes the mask off,
I think
obviously.
in 1. I'm not sure about all of 2 or Boba Fett.
Okay.
But I think I know for sure season 3 he's not on set.
Yeah. Okay. I did hear that too. That's crazy. That's just nuts.
That's
Whatever.
fine.
I mean, you don't see him, and his star is rising. So what's he gonna do? Like I don't. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. We haven't seen his face at all, right? Or
Since
did we
that one
see it?
time. Just that one time.
Well, we saw it in season 1, and we saw it, I think, twice in season 2. Have we
Maybe.
seen it in season 3?
No, we haven't.
I thought we would too. I guess
Well,
that's
we
why
will.
he's not on set. I assumed you'd see his face more. He's more famous now. You'd think they would just take his helmet off permanently, but this whole season has
Well,
been
they
about
can't. Now you can't.
no, you know.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Ted Lasso.
Ah, love it. I'm up to date. You up to date?
I'm up to date. I
It's it's Ted Lasso. The
the
thing about
season's
Ted
fine.
Lasso is it's the one-liners and shit like that they have. I mean, I'm all set with the whole Keely timeline, to be honest, and her opening her business. Like,
I don't
it's
like the Keely thing.
it's too much though. Like half of every episode's about her and the business.
Yeah. I don't even get what that business is. It's just her own business. And there's these other characters there. And I really don't give a fuck about any of them.
No.
It is a weird side story going on.
I'd rather have more of a, like, what's Roy doing in his personal time than Keely.
Why do you think they had Keely and Roy split up?
I don't know. I know Keely is like a writer for this season. So
Is she? Oh, okay.
obviously that made sense that she's involved in her. Yeah, I don't know, because that was such like a fun couple to watch.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what and even like his niece, like that was a good little side story that I enjoyed. I feel like it didn't last long enough.
Yeah. I don't really understand it. I find it weird. Did you saw the last episode? You are fully caught up with.
Yep.
Okay. I just got to say this. Did you see the cleavage that Keely was showing in the last episode? What was that about?
A lot of cleavage.
Just out of nowhere, she was just doing a lot of like sitting at her desk, and her cleavage is just
push-up bras spilled out.
Spilled over. We've never seen that before.
If you dig the dark web, she used to be naked in a lot of places.
That's funny.
Just saying.
I just found it so weird. It was like, oh my God, all of a sudden she's just like, I will say, Ted, the season is fine. I kind of can see where they were going with the Zava storyline, and they were like depending on him and winning. The show is always still weird to me because they lose, and there's no reality where Ted Lasso is a real coach. They were in season 3 and he doesn't understand how soccer works.
I know.
And I have been frustrated a little bit where the owner wants to win. I totally get it. Like you can't even sit there and say she wants to win too much because she's trying to get back at her ex-husband. But she owns a soccer team. I do want to win. And Ted Lasso's there like do. And like, I feel like at this point, he should be wanting to win a little bit more. He just feels like he doesn't care. And maybe that's getting a little old. I feel like his character maybe needs to evolve a little bit.
You know what? You think you nailed it there. Like I'm okay with his carefree attitude, but yeah, it's
unrealistic.
It's like it's unrealistic. Where like you gotta want to win. He doesn't even care. He doesn't care that they have 1 or 2 wins for the season.
Yeah, they lost a game, and he's in his office, and the owner comes in, and she's like, "What's going on?" or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, you seem mad." It's just like, oh, this isn't realistic.
Well, even when like Zava's missing, and he's like, "Who cares? Like, what's the point? Why does that? Like, what do you mean? Like,
I know.
What do you mean? Like, your players aren't there,
right?"
And it's like when professional, they're getting paid.
I know. When the show started, I think the team was bad and it was in disarray, and his style was going to translate. Like we're talking about humans here, and that will translate into soccer success. But now in season 3, like, they got the Mexican guy and they got Jamie Tart and they had Zava and whatever. You're like, okay, let's win. Like, let's.
And then they started the whole storyline with like Roy Kent and Jamie Tart. Like, I'm going to train you. And it was like 1 episode of like waking up in the middle of the night. And then like 3 episodes go by, they never talked about it again.
Yeah.
You're right. This season
feel like
is kind of a mess.
I feel like that will pay off, but it has been. That'll pay off. I mean, Jamie Tart's probably going to do something.
Now that Zava's gone, it's going to step back up and be the hero. I agree, but
I think the show is fine. I just feel like when Jason Sudeikis does the little one-liners, they don't land for me like they did. I'm just kind of over that joke. I know, but it's like I'm kind of over the joke.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I just feel like it has to do something a little bit different or whatever.
I think now, like, it was all about Ted Lasso and like that. There's too many other little storylines now too, right? With Nate going on, and like you said, Keely and the owner. There's just all these other little things that take up. But I will say, the episodes are getting long. I think the last one was like 52 minutes.
Yeah, they are.
They used to be like 30.
Yeah, I know.
So I guess they're long. That's good. That's better. They can have more of that story, but
Not
you know?
always. I mean, like as long as they're fulfilled at the end, it doesn't matter how long they are. I feel
And
like the Mandalorian has gotten longer too.
they have to. The other thing,
And
last thing I'll say about Ted is like I'm also kind of sick of the storyline between him, his wife, and his son. Like
that's gone on
I,
a long
I
time.
get it, but like, yeah, it's the same thing that was happening. Episode 2 of season 1. I get it. You miss it. You have this weird thing with your wife. You need to just get over it. He had this psychiatrist. Like, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
kind of tired of it. Like,
He's
I don't.
back to the panic attacks.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, where are we going here? He had the panic attacks. He talked to the therapist. He seemed to get over it. Now the panic attacks are back. But it's not like the therapist left him. He still talks to the therapist.
Yeah. I almost
don't
wish
know.
like
how's
she
this gonna
fully
pay off?
helped him to get over all of it.
Mhm.
And now, like season 3, like that is end of season 2, and now season 3, like he focused on winning. Like that's kind of what I hoped was going to happen. It's the same shit though.
Right. Yeah, I don't understand. We'll see. I mean, we'll see where it goes. I don't know how many episodes are
It's
left.
still a great show. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Before we leave Apple TV Plus, Schmigadoon season 2. I don't know if you ever saw Schmigadoon.
Never heard of it.
It is Apple TV Plus. It has Cecily Strong and Keegan-Michael Key, the voice of Toad, and they go into this fantasy world that's like a musical. So if you're
that movie, that show,
it's like they're in like a musical. Cecily Strong is one of the great SNL cast members of all time. So we watch it really just for Cecily Strong. But Michelle was a theater nerd. She graduated in theater in college, and I love it. And this season, Schmigadoon season 2, Schmigadoon was like happy, joyous, like very much theater. Season 2 is called Schmicago. So they are in this fantasy world, but it's not as happy, jolly. It's very like dark and sexy and gritty, like Chicago style. And all of the same characters are there, but they're playing different roles. And I love when shows do that. It's like the same actors, but they all have different roles and they're doing totally different things. And you see the range of the characters. So I'm enjoying that. I think we're 2 episodes in now. But yeah, Schmigadoon. I wanted to talk about it because no one really talks about it, but it's really good. And then you've been watching this Jeremy Renner thing?
Well, no, I watched. It's just one thing. It's came out on Disney Plus. It's like Diane Sawyer fucking interviewed him. But I mean, you heard about what happened with him.
He got, as far as I know, he got run over by a snowplow.
You should watch this. It's like a 45-minute documentary. It was like, how is this guy still alive? It's just the whole story, and they show like they do like a model simulation of what happened, and it's like it was just blew my mind.
I do need to see it. Is he mostly like okay? Is he still kind of recovering?
Yeah, I think he just started walking again.
Oh, okay. So he's
yeah, he has like plates and bars in his legs, and he's fucked up. Like, he's lucky. He's lucky to be alive.
Yeah. I mean, you just can't dork around with that stuff. And I think he tried to like save a nephew or something like that.
I think what happened, I mean, they'll show it in the show. Essentially, the snowplow was going towards the truck and it was slipping, and then he tried to like yell, and you'll just watch it. You'll see it. But yeah,
be careful.
It was
with
just
your
like
kids.
It's on Disney Plus. It was just kind of eye opening. Like, holy shit! Like that was crazy.
I'll try to watch it. I'll try to watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, short. Just one episode thing.
Barry season 4 starts tonight. It's on HBO Max. I've really enjoyed Barry. Once again, I'm watching it because Bill Hader stars in it.
Yep.
I have really enjoyed it. There's one particular character that absolutely steals the show. It's unreal how good they are. And so season 4 is the final season, which is fine. We'll be able to watch the first 2 episodes before our HBO Max subscription ends, and then I won't be able to watch the ending for a few months when we go back to it. But Barry is definitely worth watching. It's really good. And Bill Hader, the first season was very dark. It's a very dark comedy. I think the second season they figured out, this is Bill Hader. He's actually really funny, and the second season's much funnier. It's still dark, but it's much funnier. Third season was good. Got darkish again. I don't know what's happening with season 4. We'll start watching it tonight. But if you haven't seen Barry, it is definitely worth a watch. Stephen Root and Bill Hader and just some of the best character actors you'll see. Just absolutely great jobs. So I'm excited for that one. But Drew, I did watch Hook. It has happened. I think it took only a few days after I could see again, and I watched Hook.
First impression.
I am not a Peter Pan fan. I think the movie is terrible. I don't know why you like it, but I understand the
I
nostalgia.
love the idea of Peter Pan.
The idea
Neverland.
of Peter Pan, but
and Neverland.
I will say it's a good movie.
It is.
I didn't understand how the Peter Pan tied to the movie, and it's not a Disney movie, which is funny. I had to watch it on, I think, HBO Max. I thought it was on Disney Plus, but it's not really a Peter Pan movie. It's kind of a like I think Disney didn't have the rights anymore, so somebody else just made a Peter Pan movie. But it was good. I understand like the idea that Robin Williams was Peter Pan and then somehow forgot about it because he wanted to be a father, and then he kind of became a bad father and then sort of learned. It was really good. It's good to see. It's always good to see Robin Williams. I thought it was weird. Julia Roberts was never interacting with any of the characters until I think she has one kiss with Robin Williams. Otherwise, I swear to God, Julia Roberts scenes are all filmed externally to everything else. It's very weird looking. But it was really, really good. Professor McGonagall is in it. And I liked it. Yeah. I can't say anything bad about it. The one thing that's weird about it, I'm not saying this is bad at all. It's just weird. So Dustin Hoffman is Hook. He does a great job. It is so funny because normally in this kind of movie, Hook is out to get Peter Pan. But for the entire movie, Hook is just like, hey, dude, I hate you. But we're going to go play baseball. Or something. It's just like, it's like, I guess he's not trying to kill Peter Pan or something like that. It's just kind of a weird flow. Peter Pan's just kind of hanging out, trying to learn to get his
type thing. Yeah,
he's trying to get his imagination and whatever. And Hook is just like winning his son over. And I don't know. Hook doesn't seem like a really bad dude. I don't know. It's just weird.
Hang out with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Bit of a long movie, but I love
it. Is long.
It's, I think it was in 91. There was one scene in it, and I love watching 70s, 80s, 90s movies for these reasons. There is a scene when he's on the airplane and the stewards have fed them food. And I was just like, wow, look, you're on an airline and they're feeding you food. Like, wow, that's cool. It's just, I love seeing things that are dated in movies. And that one was like so joyous. I was like, wow, look at air travel back in 30 years ago. But yeah, no, I did enjoy it.
About time.
The best Peter Pan film ever made.
New one comes out soon. 28.
Surely better than the original Peter Pan, which I think is unwatchable.
You stop it.
You do you, Drew.
I will.
I think that's it. I haven't watched anything else.
Survivor season 44. Going strong.
Fucking season 44. Jesus Christ.
Love that show. I will say, for anyone that watched last week's episode, it was fucking stupid. You know why? There was too much drama. There's too much. I feel like the producers like kind of hand wrote what happened.
I mean, reality shows are.
I reach out to my Survivor
maybe
fans
like because reality shows are generally like that, but maybe they just revealed their hand a little too much. Like
they controlled too much. I think. Yeah. But anyways,
all right, that was good to catch up. Next time we chat, we're going to talk about Barry. All right. Let's finish up with some listener questions. We have some long-running listener questions. Let's go. Darth Platypus, what is your favorite Zelda game? Such a hard question.
That's such an easy question. Wind Waker.
If you ask me this question every single day, I'll probably give you a different answer. I would also have said Wind Waker, but after playing Breath of the Wild these last few days, I'm wondering if Breath of the Wild needs to go into my top 10 of all time. I mean, obviously everybody loves Breath of the Wild, but I feel like I need to give it its due. Is it my favorite Zelda game? I think at this point it probably is, but I love Wind Waker. That's always been one of my favorite 3D ones, and I love Adventure of Link. I don't know why. And of course I love the original, but Adventure of Link, I love the RPG aspect of it. So
I will say too, really quick, I know I played through Majora's Mask last year. That game, and I used the guide, I'm not hiding that. It was so fun doing everything and collecting all of it. That was a lot of fun.
I got Majora's Mask and Breath of the Wild today, by the way. All right. Next question from Darth Platypus. What is one off-the-wall thing you'd like to see in Tears of the Kingdom? I feel like I already said, which is I think Zelda is a playable character.
That's pretty off the wall.
Yeah.
I want some type of like unlockable side quest when you beat the game and play as Ganondorf is something.
Oh, that would be cool if you could play the game as a different character.
Like
Linkle.
maybe it's not the full game, but like a 3 to 5 hour side story or something. I don't know.
Maybe DLC.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. What about if when you take your clothes off in Breath of the Wild and you have like a spandex underwear or whatever, there's like one part of the game where you do have to take your clothes off and whatever, you can run faster with it. What if there's no spandex underwear? What happens if you take your clothes off in Tears of the Kingdom and you're just fucking nude? Like manscaped, all that.
Just a big schlong flopping around when you're running.
Like he's like 10 inches long.
He must be.
And it ties into why his name is Link. I don't know. He's trying to be. All right. Solo something. Good questions. Good questions, Darth Platypus. Solo something. We've got 3 from Solo something over the last month. After both loving Ori as anyone should, do you both now have the Ori plushie?
We all know the answer to this. I do not. And I want it, and John's going to shove it in my face right now.
It's right there. It's on the screen.
It's in the box, though. You can't hug it and kiss it.
Oh, no, I've taken it out. It's not
okay.
sealed. Yeah, he just stays there.
I need it. I want it. Anyone find it for me? I'll pay you.
I have the Ori special edition. I have the plushie. I have the games.
I bought them digitally, Ori. So I did see it once in the store. I almost bought it. I ended up buying the Shovel Knight one instead because I wanted the Shovel Knight game.
That's a good one.
I didn't have the game.
Did it come with Treasure Trove? Or
it did.
Okay.
And I already had the Ori game, so I was like, well, let me get the Shovel Knight plushie and a game rather than just buying like a $30 plushie.
Have you played through Shovel Knight yet? No, right?
Did I even put the digital code in?
I don't think.
Now that you say it.
You better make sure, because I think the code is on the receipt.
Probably threw it away.
It might be gone. You should play Treasure Trove. Even if you just play the original Shovel Knight game and then see where you go, but you should at least play the first game.
I played the original Shovel Knight. I have.
Oh, okay. You've played it through.
I played it on the Wii U, I think.
Oh, okay. I thought you never did.
No. I played the original.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, when you played Dig. Oh, that's weird. Okay.
I don't know. Dig was my second one.
The DLC for Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon is coming very soon to Switch.
Oh, I thought that already came out.
I think it is out on Steam now.
I'm not playing. I can't.
Any day it could drop on Switch, and I will be jumping back in. Okay, good question. What moment in Breath of the Wild had you first say, dude, this is so freaking sweet?
I'll go 2 really quick. I think the climbing was really fun. And just trying to get to that, climbing anywhere concept.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd say so freaking sweet, but I loved collecting the armor and upgrading the armor. That was just one of my favorite things to do.
Oh, with the fairies, I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
Sweet. Mine are very early in the game, and maybe it's just because you're like new in the universe. But honestly, when you start the game, I loved how quickly the game started. There wasn't like 20 minutes of cutscenes or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they kind of tutorialize and you get out of the cave. And then you have that moment where you go to the cliff and you see everything, which we had kind of seen already, but just getting out of that cave. And then you turn to your right and the guy's shouting for you and you get the stick and you get the apple. And it's just, the music is just light and beautiful. And I was like, you just knew you were going to play something special. That's one. And then the second is also very early on when you have to cut down that tree and you cross over and there's like a cliff and you need to climb up there and it's going to be cold and you're going to need some stamina. And that's how they teach you those aspects of the game. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking, how do I get these? You have to get these things to make the food so that you can stay warm. And I remember I was like, wow, they really got me. This is an open world game, but here I am in this situation trying to figure out how to get the doublet and get the food and cook. And I was like, God, this is just an amazing experience already. And the game ended up being super special. But those early memories were so good. I really enjoyed them. There's probably some other aspects too, but those two will always stick out in my head. And that's why I think I always want to restart Breath of the Wild, because I love the plateau so much. So much. Third question from Solo. Which Breath of the Wild champion would you want to hang with every weekend? And which one would you never answer their text or calls? And of course, why?
This is an easy one. I mean, definitely Darut. Darut, did I say it right?
Yep.
You gotta hang out with him. That guy could throw back some beers. Anyone comes running around, he's gonna take them out for you. And who would I ignore? Rivali.
Rivali.
That guy just looks like an arrogant prick.
He's kind of a dick, right?
He's just an asshole. Yeah, I don't want to hang out with him.
He's a little cocky.
Cocky motherfucker.
I totally agree with you on Rivali. Mifa would be the one I would hang out with. She just looks so down to earth and cool and awesome. I kind of like her.
You want to ban her?
If there was like a fuck, marry, kill though, like Urbosa's definitely on the fuck list. Like absolutely. But Mifa for sure. I would totally hang out with Mifa. I totally see why Link was into Mifa. Daruk, I don't know. I never liked the Gorons.
Oh, I love the Gorons.
You know what I hate about Breath of the Wild is whenever you have to freaking go to the Gorons, you have to put on your fire stuff. Yeah. And every time you want to go to the desert, you got to put on your girl stuff. I hate that. Like, I don't like going there. If I have a quest that's like, you need to go to the Goron or whatever, it's like, oh, fuck. I'm going to change into this big, giant suit. I hate like that. It. Why do I got to do that? I hate it.
Because part of the environment.
It's stupid. Okay, we have a voicemail from Bob Cousy.
Hey guys, Cousy here. Long-time listener, long-time caller. Hey, after speaking with several gaming aficionados and gurus and Drew about the fusing aspect in Tears of the Kingdom, I figure it's going to be a good thing as long as you don't have to use it. If you could beat like 80 to 90% of the game without using it, I think it's going to be really good just to play around with and have fun with. Which got me thinking, are there any other core mechanics in games that completely turned a game off for you, made an otherwise great game unplayable for you? Maybe it was Scrooge McDuck's Kane and DuckTales, or Happy and Mario Odyssey. For me personally, it was that rewinding time mechanic in Life is Strange. Completely ruined that shit game for me. But thanks for taking my call. I'll hang up and listen.
I hate you, Coos.
Wow. I love you, Coos. That's such a great question, and I remember listening to it and having an awesome idea. And now it's been 3 weeks later, and I forgot. Let me think about this one. What do you got?
So I will start off and say I think Coos is wrong. I think the fuse is going to be a big part of the game.
Well,
it's going to help you lengthen the use of your weapons. You know, but when you fuse and it sort of restores each thing, you're going to want to fuse to get more length out of your weapons. So I think that's going to be an important mechanic. And I think it's going to be all throughout the game. You're constant. I mean, we've seen it. And he sent that voicemail before we got this latest trailer. But just seeing like Link with the sword and the shield fused is like, oh, wow, and fusing may not be permanent or whatever. Like, this is a big aspect of the game, part of progression. It's not just for making funny weapons. So I think fuse is going to
be ways to open up doors and dungeons. It's going to be everything, I think, which I don't like.
Yeah, but it's going to be fine. I'm not worried about it at all. They're not going to screw this up. Yeah. In terms of like what's a core mechanic of a game that kind of messed things up, that's a tough one. I will say in Hollow Knight, one of the reasons I didn't like Hollow Knight is you have a nail as a weapon. And in order to have a easier time with bosses, because bosses are really hard in the game, you need to upgrade that nail. And it is just next to almost impossible to find the things you need to upgrade your nail. I just feel like they should just upgrade you more. You beat a boss, you're stronger. You level up, you're stronger. It's like you have to go into the very corners of this world to find the thing you need to upgrade your nail. And it's hard. I don't know. I think the first time I played through and actually beat it, I upgraded it one time. And it's like, I think you can upgrade it 3 or 4 times. And it's just like, come on, man, just one upgrade, please. So I didn't like that. I'm trying to think of other mechanics that I didn't really like. It's hard to really think of them. Maybe like the Tactics Ogre Reborn games, like kind of a turn-based tactics strategy that like I love and we've seen before. But I don't like that your position, the way you're facing is key to the battle. So every time you say, okay, I'm going to go attack this guy on this turn, then you have to decide which way you're going to face, because if they hit you in the back, you're more vulnerable. I didn't like that mechanic. It makes every turn take longer. I don't like it. So I now know any games where you have to change your direction after a move, I'm not playing. I'm just done with that.
I'm going to think of some really good ones, and I'm going to come back next episode. But off the top of my head, I'm going to say a lot of games on the Wii, a lot of motion controls, right? Skyward Sword, as cool as it was, I didn't want to play a 50-hour game trying to swing a remote the right direction to kill a bad guy. So I never was a big fan of motion controls for games like that. I get motion controls are fun if you want to play a Wii Sports or something like that every once in a while, but like your mainline games should always have had the option to play without motion controls. That was always a big one for me. I just, time of my life when I didn't have kids and I just wanted to sit on the couch and play games. I didn't want to swing around a fucking remote. So motion controls was a big one for me. Skyward Sword obviously jumps out, but there was probably plenty more of them that I could think of as well.
It's made a lot of those Wii games just, they didn't age well because you just don't want to mess with it unless you want to play Punch-Out. Because you do the motion controls with Punch-Out.
But you don't have to.
Oh, you don't have to. So you didn't play with them?
You use the Wii remote sideways.
Okay. Which I also hate. Like,
yeah, but either
it's so poorly ergonomic.
I know.
And they do have the other controller, but you have to plug it into the Wiimote.
Yeah,
so there's just no good way to just play.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I think that's a show.
Well, John, what do we have coming up the next week? It's kind of busy.
There is a lot. This is going to be a great 2 weeks. First of all, we have Disney Speedstorm.
Ooh, I'll be getting that.
I know you're excited for that one. That's coming out April 18th. Wow, 2 days. Holy crap.
Yep.
How is it April 18th?
I might wait until after Advance Wars.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Plus, you get to see reviews, too.
Yeah.
Also on April 18th, we get Minecraft Legends. Kind of a RTS sort of version of Minecraft or whatever.
Is it an RTS?
Yeah, I think so. I to me, it looks like a Warcraft for Minecraft. So it's gotten decent reviews. It hasn't Blockbuster. It looks like it's like 7.5 sort of level or whatever. So April 19th, we get the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. And on that same day, no, I'm sorry, not on that same day. Well, on that same day, we also do get the Horizon Forbidden West DLC, which I am hopefully going to be playing very soon. April 21st, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. Woo! Cannot wait for that. April 28th, if you're not on Nintendo Switch, April 28th, you get Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak DLC. So that comes out for you guys. Enjoy it. It's a lot of content. I've played way more time on Sunbreak than I did on Rise, just to put that into perspective, like maybe double. It's a lot of time. And then April 28th, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. That is also not yet on Nintendo and probably never will, but that's a big one for you Star Wars nerds out there. April 28th. There's a lot coming out, man.
There is a lot. This is going to be a busy time of year. And it's not good because it's like outside time.
It is, but there's always time to play Switch. So I'm going to be very curious to see how Advance Wars fits in.
I'll be interested to see how I pick it up, if I like it or don't like it. I mean, I'm expecting I'm going to love it, but there's that small part of me like, what if I don't like it?
I mean, why wouldn't you like it?
I don't know. I'm just saying, there's always that fear.
How long will you play Advance Wars before you turn off the battle animations? That is the key question to these kinds of games.
Good point.
I think they're pretty quick, but I turn them off on Wargroove fairly early on.
Or if you just hit A, does it skip them?
I know, but then you do it every single time. After a while, it gets so boring. So how long before they turn off? But I cannot wait. I cannot wait for Advance Wars. It'd be so much fun. All right. We did it. Drew has been yawning precipitously the last few minutes. We have to end this now. Get some rest. You're going back to work tomorrow, back to real life. Go back to the sausage factory.
Listen, no comment.
Find out how much of this trip everybody remembers. And what was the name of the guy? What was the name of the guy that didn't like you guys drinking during the escape room?
I will not be saying his name.
Okay, well, say hi to him for me.
Okay.
Tell him I understand.
I get it.
All right. Good night,
Peace.
Dad. Good night, Drew.
Bye.
The Dads After Dark show is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available, including Google, Overcast, Spotify, and Stitcher. And if you're using Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Pretty please? Be sure to join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in our Dads After Dark channels for some naughty After Dark talk. Leave us a voicemail with Anchor and we'll play it on our next show. Check our podcast description for the link. Follow us on Twitter and now TikTok at @NDadsAfterDark or email us at dadsafterdarkshow@gmail.com. And a big thank you to Family Jewels for our show's music. That's all for tonight. Good night, Dads. Sweet dreams.